We would go out there in the middle of nowhere, bro, to these illegal marijuana farms, and from a distance, we would fly the drone over the farm. We're in the middle of nowhere, guys, so like if the cartel sees you out there, you're smoked.
Well, this is not an issue. And then you hear stories like this, and you're like, what the fuck is really happening?
If you cross under Trump, you're not getting paroled into the country. Where Biden, you were getting that reward of getting paroled. As they were crossing from like Mexican soil and touching American soil, they were like FaceTiming their family members, like back in Chile or Guatemala, and like almost like bragging and being like, yo, if I could do it, you could do it too.
It makes you think. People risk their lives coming to the U.S. How bad is it in Mexico or in their countries that they have to risk their lives to get here?
The cartels are obviously going to profit all this. And the cartel starts putting all these migrants in stash houses, sexually assaulting all the women. Some of the migrant women don't even make it to the U.S. because they've been trafficked in Mexico. Some of the young migrant boys don't make it into the United States because they've also been trafficked or put into labor trafficking. So then I start to find out about the dark world and how all these kids are being taken advantage of. I used to go to the Yuma, Arizona, bro, in my dad's F-150 truck. So I encounter a smuggler and he goes, hey, is that your F-150? I go, yeah, it is. He goes, I'll give you a 6-year-old girl right now if you give me a ride in that F-150 in the Yuma. I go, what? So he turns around, gets up, and then in Spanish, gets his pistol, and now he has me at gunpoint. He says, drop the phone, give me the phone, give me the phone. Your mind, at least for me, went to fight or flight.
This is the True Hustle Podcast with your host, JR.
This is the True Hustle Podcast with your host, JR.
Jorge, welcome to the show.
Dude, thanks, man. It's been I feel like this one's like a long time coming.
Yeah.
I've been watching your content for, I think, a couple of years now, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. I know, you know what? I got to give you your props, bro. Because you got some balls, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Some of the situations that you put yourself in, I'm like, this fool's crazy.
I've been giving my mom heart attacks, bro. My innocent, poor Salvadoran mom.
Like, I know that, you know, the ICE riots, the non-violent ICE riots seem pretty violent, bro. Dude, and I was just like, man, I hope they don't pepper spray this guy.
Dude, they literally just popped off. I mean, it was like about literally just a week ago in LA. I was actually with Anthony Cabasa too. And it got rowdy, man. It started out kind of peaceful, then it got wild to the point where I don't even know where these guys got it, but they had these huge kind of cement blocks, broke them on the ground, and then it got rowdy. I know they injured a couple federal agents. I'm glad that like I was able to kind of be incognito and kind of do our thing and slip out of there. But now I'm well experienced, bro. I'm a seasoned vet when it comes to the riots. So you know, I've seen it all now, I feel like.
Okay, I have a question for you. When these protesters are breaking up blocks, what is it like? It was
like a cement cinder block. Yeah, anything. Yeah, vandalism.
When they're breaking any type of objects like that, like where's law enforcement? Are they just letting them? Are they just watching? Or like,
you know, it depends on the city. But the one that just passed, it was interesting because they were in front of the ICE building in LA, and they had a huge like barricade fencing. And as soon as they started breaking them, I could actually see the federal agents kind of get their less lethals ready and then start shooting them. So when I was there, even though I wanted to get the footage, I almost had to like kind of balance my own safety because it happens all the time. Like if you don't have the protective eye gear or the gas mask, protesters go blind all the time. That's my biggest fear too, because when you're out there, you know, if you're a federal agent, you can't tell who's who. Things are chaotic. People are yelling at you. There's tear gas in the air. You're just gonna shoot to clear out the crowd. So there's been a bunch of instances, and I've seen it a lot. Motherfuckers get popped in the face, bro, and they go home blind. So it's a huge risk when you cover a riot, even just as a reporter.
I know it seemed pretty intense, and I was just watching through the phone. Because I heard you were like coughing, like, I can't breathe. I'm like, oh, fuck. Because you're right. They're not going to be like, okay, that guy's a reporter. This guy's cool. Oh, not this guy. They're not doing none of that. They're just going to shoot their canisters or whatever it is, their tear gas, and their, you know. It seemed kind of crazy to me. But let's talk about these open borders back in 2021 or 2020. How open were they?
So it was interesting, man. Around that time, 2021, Biden comes right into the office, and I just got done covering the 2020 riots for the Daily Caller, so I was taking like a complete break. I was actually vacationing in Miami, Florida, man. I was trying to get some Latino summertime in, do my thing. So I was out there, and while I was out there, this was March 2021. If you guys remember, if you turn on the news, corporate media covered the border for 2 weeks, and then they gave the story up. So for 2 weeks, you had ABC, CNN, kind of all the lefties down there, and they actually used the term border crisis. That never came from Fox or the right. Border crisis came from like CNN and Anderson Cooper. They were, so I remember hearing that term, like border crisis, interesting. And then, boom, the call comes in from my boss, Richie McGinnis, who's an absolute legend. Richie calls me, goes, Jorge, love the way that you covered the riots. The border's becoming a big story. Let's get you down there. We know that you speak Spanish, and let's just see what happens. So, flew down there, man, March 2021, got to McAllen, Texas. For folks who don't know, McAllen's right in South Texas, right on the border, RGV, Rio Grande Valley, which is one of the biggest border sectors. And then my first night, man, I ran into 300 migrants from Central America, and these were the first group I ran into were like families, like moms and kids. And this is where like the big kind of mind F came, is when they approached me. I've covered the border while I was in college. I was used to migrants crossing illegally, and as soon as they crossed illegally and got onto American soil, they would run like if their life was on it. Like they did not want to see Border Patrol. Obviously, right? Like that's what that's like the logic. You break the law, you run away from law enforcement. So instead, I remember when I encountered this group, they're like, "Donde está Border Patrol?" And I go, "Oh, pues, like they're like down the road or whatever." And they go, "Can you take us to him and turn us in?" And I go, wait, what? And they're like, yeah. Like, can you take me to the Border Patrol? Like, we want to take we want to turn ourselves in. I'm like, wait, why? Like, no, like, I was confused. And they're like, no, please. And the first night I started to learn, wait a minute, under this new Biden administration, migrants not only want to turn themselves into Border Patrol, but then that's when I learned within 72 hours, those same migrants will be processed by Border Patrol at a processing center, and then they will be paroled into the United States with a future court date. But that was the first stages of it. Like I didn't, that story was so new. I didn't know that I was seeing basically chapter 1 of the border crisis, and I didn't know at that time that I was covering a story that was going to ultimately end Joe Biden. Joe Biden lost the presidency on immigration. All those counties on the border, Starr County, all those counties in Texas, South Texas, they've been voting Democrat for like since 1920 by like 90%. And those counties are over. It's like 99% Latino every county. All those counties flipped for the first time. Obviously, I didn't know it at that time. This is like the beginning, but I remember just being shocked by that, and then that ultimately that was the beginning of the Biden border crisis and how the cartels got involved. And then not only that, the first year, this is what people forget, the first year was strictly Central American. So it was like Guatemala, Nicaragua. We weren't getting any Salvadorians really because Bukele was doing good with the economy. And then like year 2, the Venezuelan wave hit like a mother. I'm talking about like nothing we've ever seen. 2022 is when that Venezuelan wave came like monsters. And I could go on and on and on and on. But that was 2021, bro, was the beginning. Like I said, the key detail was them coming up and saying, no, we want to go to the agent. We want to go to Border Patrol. And then I could see agents, bro. When you look at the agents, their morale deflated. They go from protecting the southern border, I'm proud to wear the badge, to, oh, wait a minute, I am now just like a cog in the machine. I just process them and they get released.
Protocol, basically.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Within overnight, bro. Like I'm trying to kind of explain to the audience, this switch on federal law on immigration happened overnight. And my first week, I was still trying to understand. I'm like, wait a minute, they're being paroled, and then the migrants would get released. Like if they cross in McAllen.
Okay, but where were they getting released to?
So basically, like they would go to a processing center, and Border Patrol agents would essentially like release them. Like they go through a processing, they run backgrounds, whatever, but they would release them to the country. Border Patrol would technically have to take them to an NGO. So take them to like a Catholic Charities in McAllen, and then the Catholic Charities will then coordinate the travel of those migrants. But the thing is, the first couple months, they could handle it. But after 6 months, when you're getting hundreds of thousands of legal crossings per day, the whole system got overwhelmed. But the NGOs played a key role in this, bro, because they coordinated the travel of all these migrants that were in the country illegally. And then you would go to the airport. I remember I would go to the airport in McAllen. Yeah. There would be 2 lines. There would be like a line for you and me, for American Airlines, and then there'd be another line for the illegal immigrants, and they all had these like manila folders, and they were being flown all over the country, bro. I remember I would interview him. ¿A dónde van? New Jersey, Nueva York. Oh, you work Denver, Colorado. Dude, Denver, Colorado. Almost every Venezuelan went to Denver, Colorado when I met him. Denver, Colorado. Wait, oh, Chicago. Voy aquí. Oh, tengo. And then I'm like, ¿cuándo tienes corte? Oh, I have it in 6 months. I have it in a year from now. By the time, bro, that I got to 2023, the border crisis, I was interviewing migrants from Venezuela. They would cross illegally into El Paso. I'll say, when's your court date? Oh, I don't have court date until 2029. So in the beginning, so hold on, so hold on, bro. So that's what I'm trying to go in order here. But in the beginning, the court dates were like 6 months from now, a year from now. By the end of the border crisis, because the system got so overwhelmed, I remember I was meeting a Venezuelan. I was like, oh, I don't have a court case till 2030. And what the American audience needs to understand is when they don't have court case till 2030, till that whole time, they're now legally allowed to be in the United States. Even though they broke the law, even though they literally crossed it legally, they jumped the line. But because the system is so overwhelmed and they can't see a judge for 8 years, which is insane, they have legal right to be in the United States now.
Okay, now that brings up a question. Do they qualify for financial help, whether it's through EBT or one of those services that should be for...
So technically they're not, but then there's other systems where like they're able to gang other people's socials and all that stuff. So technically they're not. But
I'm sure you're enjoying this dope ass episode. I mean, you made it this far, so you might as well hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Now, let's get back to the episode, baby.
That was like the very first, like that 2021, man, 2022 was that first massive wave, and I was trying to ring the alarm. Almost to the Democrat, almost me trying to be the message to the Democrats. I'm saying, hey, man, I'm here. And all these counties that like, oh, well, vote for you guys no matter what. You guys don't even visit these counties when you guys do the election stuff. You don't even campaign here. I'm hearing for the first time they're going to vote for Trump because they don't want this Haitian in their backyard. And then if you remember, bro, it was like, I think end of 2022, I was in Southern California and I get the news alert. Bing, 17,000 Haitians are all under the Del Rio Bridge at the same time. And I'm like, what? And I remember the Fox News helicopter. It looked like a whole mini city, bro. If you remember, all under Del Rio, and 17,000 Haitians cross into Del Rio, Texas, a population of 15,000. Because there were so many Haitians, one of the international crossing bridges to Mexico, they had to close it. So all these workers that lived in Mexico and Piedras Negras couldn't get to Del Rio for work, so that shut down businesses. And all these Latinos that vote Democrat for all these years were like, wait a minute. Oh, wait, Biden isn't doing anything about the border. Why is this person from Haiti running around? So I remember I get there, dude, and it was madness. I remember I was on the other side of it, like I'm still on the U.S. side, but under the bridge, it sounded like a whole city. And by the time I got there, the Texas DPS, Department of Public Safety, were like, no reporters are going to the bridge. You're not allowed to go. And I'm like, damn. So I'm like, how can I tell this story? I can't even interview the Haitians. I can't shoot no footage. And I meet this random documentary guy. He's like, hey, man, I'm getting a rental. I'm going to cross over to Mexico. You jumping in? I was like, let's go. So I'm going with this random guy. He looks like he committed like 5 felonies. This guy was like, But the thing is, too, that international bridge was closed. So we actually had to drive like all the way to Eagle Pass, Texas, cross through Eagle Pass, Texas. And then we had to go through this cartel-controlled highway to get all the way to Piedras Negras. So we get to this cartel-controlled highway. Mm-hmm. We get to Piedras Negras, and I've never seen anything like that in my career. I'm talking about, it felt like a village of Haitians, 17,000, and they were all living there. And not only were they living there, many of them were crossing. Like I said, like the only thing separating Mexico and Texas is like the little Del Rio River. I was watching Border Patrol, U.S. Border Patrol, monitoring these Haitians that were basically taking supplies to the Haitians under the American bridge and then getting supplies back to Mexico. So they were basically doing illegal crossings all in my face with supplies, and the Border Patrol was just like standing there, like can't do anything. And I remember when I went to go interview the Haitians, I was like, damn, I don't know how to speak because they speak like Creole, French. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to communicate with them. And then I go up to them and I'm speaking English, and the Haitians looking at me like I'm stupid. And I'm like, hey, you speak English? Like, my name's Jorge. I'm an American journalist. And he's like, compa, yo hablo español. I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like. And then I learned, bro, that all those Haitians they've been living in Chile for plus 5 years already. They all had permanent resident IDs from Chile, and what they were doing is they were destroying the documents before they crossed over to the United States. So when they crossed over to the United States, they're like, oh no, we just got to Mexico. No, it's like, no, they were already living in Chile, bro. They all spoke Spanish. They spoke Spanish better than me. All these Haitians were speaking Spanish, and I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, we're all from Chile. And I'm like, wait, what? And then,
Whoa.
yeah, now that right there, bro, was one of the biggest warnings to the Biden administration to shut this thing down now. While you still can, and the media will forget about it, the voters will forget about it. By the time we get to 2024, they'll all forget about it. And they still didn't, bro, after the Haitian shit show in Del Rio, which was insane to me.
But the media didn't cover it the way they should have covered it.
No, they didn't. Yeah. And I went ham, bro. So I covered that aggressively. I said, look what's going on. Look at U.S. Border Patrol. Like, they're just standing here. These guys are crossing supplies. And then not only that, bro, the next couple of days, the government starts to secretly fly out these Haitians that illegally cross. So then I remember I had a reporter buddy, really good reporter, Julio Rosas, had an early flight out of Del Rio airport. It was like a 5 a.m. flight. So we go take Julio to the airport. And what I find, the Del Rio airport was closed, and there were hundreds of Haitians sleeping on the floors. I'm like, wait, what?
At the airport?
Dude, this looks insane that this was happening on American soil. So the government, also during the whole time, the government is flying all these illegal immigrants everywhere. But it was so early in the border crisis story, this really wasn't uncovered to the potential. So I remember we go drop off Julio, and I see all these Haitians sleeping on the floor. So obviously, as a journalist, you start like, I'm gonna get out, get my camera. We're asking questions. At that time, bro, it was a big story that the whole thing with COVID, and then also with like the vaccines, like should they be mandatory? Should they not? Should we be having Americans take vaccines before they fly? That was like a big deal during that time with Mayorkas. And I remember I go up to the Haitians. I go, hey, I'm wondering, because you just crossed illegally. We don't know who you are. Have you been tested for, like, has the government tested you for COVID before flying you across the country? No. And then right there, I'm like, ding, ding, ding. So I did 20 interviews of just 20 Haitians.
We couldn't go to Dodger games, though.
Yeah. So I did.
That's wild.
So I did 20 interviews, bro, of all these Haitians saying, we have not been tested, but the government is flying us. We haven't been tested, but the government is flying us. Put that together, put that out, and then boom, another banger to Mayorkas, bro. Like they had to respond to that report. Like Fox News carried it. It was such a just another hit to the Biden administration. And right there, Brian, just knew when we can, bro, we're gonna have to hit Biden on every angle in this immigration story till
and me listening to this, you can see my reaction. And this is the issue that I find, that I think we're having a very difficult time as Americans knowing the difference between the truth,
right,
and the narrative. Which one is it? Because they're pushing us all this other stuff, and then the reality is like, holy moly, this is crazy.
And this is the dark part of the immigration story, bro. That then obviously when you have this influx of the world coming in, the cartels are obviously going to profit all this. So then the cartel starts putting all these migrants in stash houses, sexually assaulting all the women. Some of the migrant women don't even make it to the U.S. because they've been trafficked in Mexico. Some of the young migrant boys don't make it into the United States because they've also been trafficked or put into labor trafficking. So then I start to find out about the dark world and how all these kids are being taken advantage of. Also, the cartel, bro, starts to use these kids as decoys. What they'll do is they'll get like 2 kids, they'll drop them off at a certain location, knowing that Border Patrol, Texas DPS, they have to respond to those kids, and they'll be moving drugs. And the migrant thing was perfect because all of a sudden, instead of just having 2 kids, you have 300 bodies from Nicaragua. Oh, we're gonna put these 300 bodies right here in this part of McAllen, and then we're moving in drugs the other way. So I then started to learn, bro, of how the cartel mass profited. They made, cartels under Biden administration made billions of dollars off humans. We're not even talking about the drugs yet. And the thing is, bro, that's when the rest of the world started to come. The Venezuelan wave, bro, hit like I've never seen anything like it in my life. The amount of Venezuelans that were coming into the country, and then the Cuban wave came. And the Cuban one was interesting, bro, because when they started to break down their pattern, I got to learn how key Nicaragua played. Nicaragua, bro, is a country that does not take visas from a lot of countries from the Middle East. And under the Biden administration, bro, Nicaragua government officials knew that the U.S. border was open. They allowed all these individuals from Turkey, Pakistan, Syria, all these crazy countries to fly into Nicaragua, no visa. He then continue their route to United States illegally. I spoke to a Cuban. He goes, hey, when in Cuba, one ticket to Nicaragua is $6,000. I said, why is it $6,000? He says, because the Cuban government knows that once you buy that one-way ticket to Nicaragua, you're never coming back. And then I started to learn, bro, that Nicaragua did this with Turkey, Syria, Afghanistan, all these sketchy countries that do not like us. Nicaragua was like, oh yeah, you guys can come here visa free. All the Chinese, bro, and I'll talk about this a little bit more because I want to go in order. All the Chinese went to Ecuador, bro. Ecuador is like, oh, no visa for us. And all the Chinese went to Ecuador, then came. So you start to learn, bro, that all these nationalities have different patterns, how they get here. They all have different smuggling fees, what they're worth to the cartel. And then boom, bro, 2023 comes. And obviously border crisis is already a big story. All these Hispanics are already pissed. And then I get a call from a sheriff. He goes, yo, you gotta come back to McAllen. You gotta come back to RGV. I go, why? He goes, we have I remember, I'll never forget this. And he goes, we have a 1,000% spike in Chinese nationals. He's like, we're in South Texas. He's like, we've never seen Chinese nationals. He's like, you got to come. We don't know what's going on with the cartel. We don't know. He's like, we're having a language barrier. We can't process them. And he's like, they're all destroying their documents. Or all these Chinese arriving with no ID. So I book a flight, get to McAllen. I was shocked because I thought, okay, maybe he's overplaying, he's overdoing it. He was right. I remember we were going to ride along, and we kept running into Chinese men. And what was interesting about the Chinese men I was running into is maybe I did all these groups. Maybe there was one or two women, but they were all well dressed, luggage clean. And the reason I mention this, bro, is because when I ran into the Venezuelans and Cubans, they look like they've been through a journey. They've been trekking. They're literally dying on you. The Chinese were like almost like if they just left a 5-star resort, freshly clean, luggage clean, no issue. Almost like if they had no issue trekking. And then I was able to get one of the Chinese to give me an interview on Google Translate. And then he starts unrevealing everything. He goes, yep. He says, right now all the Chinese are flying to Ecuador because we're having no travel visa. Then cartels and smugglers, bro, in South America coordinate their travel from Ecuador. They get to Colombia. And he was saying, we already have our own hotels. So when we get to Ecuador, we have Chinese hotels. When we get to Colombia, we have Chinese hotels. He's in. After Colombia, bros, that's when they do that brutal journey. This is where it does get brutal for the Chinese. And they go through that Darien Gap. So the Chinese all have to go through the Darien Gap. Now, this is where it gets good for the Chinese. When they get to Mexico, the cartel will take care of them from there. According to my sources, and this is through Texas DPS, Border Patrol, and everything, Chinese, bro, are willing to pay cartels 50 grand per head to be smuggled into the United States. Meaning that when they get into Mexican soil, the cartel's going to treat these people like they're going to get the first class smuggling trip. Chinese are not going to have to worry about dealing with Mexican authorities and being hassled and all that. They're not going to have to also be worried about being abducted by other cartels, and they're going to be taken care of. So the cartels, what they'll do is as soon as they get crossed, they'll make sure that government officials in Tapachula issue them basically these passes that let them legally travel through Mexico. The Chinese will then fly to Puerto Vallarta. Then many of the Chinese, not all, but majority, will then fly to Tijuana. And then from Tijuana, they'll literally land at the airport, bro. Cartel will pick them up, take them all the way to the outskirts of Tijuana, to Tecate, in the desert, where the cartel has all these motorcycle guys that roam those deserts. And then they'll smuggle them through Jacumba Hot Springs, California. And that is how I started to connect. So when I started to learn all that, I was like, I got to get to Cali. And then all the Chinese, bro, started to come to Cali, and they started to die off in Texas. But, dude, the Chinese thing was a big deal. And this is what I want to explain real quick before I give it back to you, bros. What the audience needs to understand is when people come from China, the Middle East, all these sketchy countries, these are technically what are labeled as special interest aliens, meaning that they require extra screening when Border Patrol encounters them because these guys do not like the United States. This is the other caveat. All these countries, because they don't like us, will not share information on these guys. So when we run background, it's a normal person. It's a regular Chinese citizens. But back in China, this guy could be the sketchiest person ever. Venezuela does this too. Venezuela will not share background information on the United States. Why is this key? Jose Ibarra, a Trinidad gang member, crosses illegally in El Paso, Texas. Border Patrol encounters Jose Ibarra, runs his background. Oh, he's just a regular Venezuelan, hard worker, right? He just wants to come for a better life. Jose Ibarra is a Trinidad gang member back in Venezuela. He has all this criminal history back in Venezuela, but we don't know that. Jose Ibarra then goes to New York. He stays up at the Roosevelt Hotel. You and I who are busting our ass over here in SoCal are paying for him to be in the Roosevelt Hotel. He's probably drinking on our dime, smoking on our dime. He probably got chicks at the Roosevelt Hotel. So he was doing that. Then Eric Adams does this whole thing where he's sick of migrants. I'll buy you a one-way ticket anywhere. Jose Ibarra goes, oh, I want a ticket to Georgia, where my other brother is, who's also trained that I1 gang member. Jose Ibarra gets to Georgia. 6 months later, he then brutally murders Lincoln Riley in broad daylight. And that becomes one of the most famous cases of like, this is the issue of illegal immigration, guys, is when we encounter these people, they don't want to share these countries don't want to share their background information. And that's why we have a Lincoln Riley, which is like heartbreaking. So that's one thing I wanted to mention, bro. That's why the story is so important is all these Chinese, we don't know who they are. We don't know if they're spies for the Chinese Communist Party. And now with the birthright citizenship story back in the news, we're learning that all these Chinese, like back in China, they have a whole system of like, get these pregnant Chinese women to a U.S. territory, like Guam, have a babe. Like, there's so much to this story, bro. And I don't think it's done with the Biden border crisis, which is crazy to say.
I'm going to ask you what everybody else is thinking. How is this possible?
This is the United States,
Why?
bro.
Why would he allow this?
It doesn't make any sense, right, man? From
a logical standpoint, I'm not claiming I'm the smartest individual here, but it's oh my God.
Is it simply just votes, bro? Like, I don't know, right? Like, I'm still with everyone else.
Like, I'm just like, okay.
Is it simply just for votes? Really? I don't know, man. Is there something deeper?
It's deeper. And it's deeper and it's more sinister. And I think once you dig, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. And I think that's what probably happened. You know, you were like digging and seeing how, because everybody at home is fed this bullshit narrative that social media has, right? Well, this is not an issue. And then you hear stories like this, and you're like, what the fuck is really happening?
Dude, it's
what's really happening? Like, why would you want to self-destruct
the United States?
Such a beautiful, powerful nation. And then people...
Dude, China would never do this. Obviously, this is like...
Okay, name me one country that does what the U.S. does, or what they did within those 4 years.
It's brutal.
We'll wait.
It's brutal, and
that's crazy.
And the scary stuff too, bro, is anytime when you hear about like the reporting on the border, you're always gonna hear about the figures that we know. So I think under Biden, to finish that, we know about 8 million illegal crossings, but the term you always want to pay attention to, that Border Patrol always says, is the term "got away." So got away are all the people that crossed illegally. Border Patrol was able to detect, but because they were literally overwhelmed and dealing with other groups, those groups got in, and the got away number is always going to be much, much higher. What was scary that under Biden, now that we're actually in a war with Iran, I was able to pull some info before the show, bro. So under Biden, between 2021 to 2024, at least 1,500 Iranian nationals were encountered at the border. We do know that at least half, so around 750, were paroled into the country. So special interest aliens paroled into the country
by the Biden administration.
So when you hear the term sleeper cells, that's the individuals you got to worry about. Is can these individuals be activated? And the issue, the reason I was hitting that Chinese angle so hard in my reporting is that the cartel was making more money than ever with the Chinese. They're making $50,000 per head. China and Mexico already have this, when talking about the governments, already have this weird, cozy relationship that I think the United States has to, like, we got to focus on that. The other thing is cartels and the CCP, the Chinese government, they have agreements where China's going to provide them defending our precursors, and those domestic cartels launder the money to Chinese banks. And then there's also, this is, I'm finding out through my sources, and we could talk about it right now, bro, is now in the United States, for people who don't know, the Chinese are taking over the illegal marijuana industry that historically always belonged to Mexican cartels. So when I was reporting on the border back in 2022, 2023, I got to meet Congressman. He was Congressman at that time, Mike Garcia, who at that time was out of my district closer to Santa Clarita, Valencia. But we were in South Texas. So I was like, Mr. Garcia, like, what brings a lawmaker from California to McAllen? He goes, well, Jorge, he's like, what's going on at the borders impacting my district? He says, we have all these cartels smuggling migrants and forcing those migrants to work in illegal marijuana farms. And, you know, me, like...
In California?
In California. Back actually in my hometown of the Antelope Valley. Now, look, bro, I'm a little young at that time. I'm like 25, 26. So I'm like... And I'm talking, and my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, boomer lawmaker, like, yeah, right, like cartel smuggling migrants, and then they're starting up illegal marijuana farms. And credit to the lawmaker, Mr. Garcia. He's like, all right, he's like, I'm gonna invite you to town hall next month. He's like, come to the town hall, and then let me know what you think. So I go to a town hall, and so this town hall was in Lancaster, California, up in Antelope Valley, and it was hosted by LAPD sheriff, and it was a bunch of farmers. So I go to this town hall, and jaw hits the floor. All these farmers, their stories sounded something out of like Mexico cartel movie. Like I could not believe it was happening in America. Like they were like, hey, we have all these cartels moving up to the deserts. They're stealing my water, and they're using that water to grow illegal weed. Hey, I woke up the other night, and there was these Honduran teenagers tapped into my water system, stealing water, and they're using that water for illegal marijuana. Then all these other neighbors had stories where like the cartel actually threatened them armed and was like, hey, like we're running that ish right now. In California. And for folks who don't know this, when you go up to the Antelope Valley, it's a bunch of it's like a regular community. But when you get to the outskirts, it's the wild west in the AV, and that's what I learned. And I'm from the AV. This is my hometown.
Yeah,
and
the AV is active.
So a bunch of farmers were saying, hey, basically cartels are stealing our water. Mexican nationals are up there with AK-47s, and the homicide rate in the desert skyrocketed when these cartels move up there. They're finding LAPD. People could Google it. LA County Sheriff was finding bodies dug up there, connected to the marijuana farms. A lot of migrants were being forced into labor trafficking. Everything was changing up there, and you had these white farmers being like, we had a quiet life. We were riding ATVs and horses. We could go shooting, and all of a sudden, I got this guy Jose from Sinaloa telling me I better stay inside. And dude, these people were frightened. So when I'm hearing these stories of the water theft, I'm like, okay, this is legit. At that time, I was working for the Daily Caller. Credit to the Daily Caller, they let me do this. I call them up. I'm like, yo, you need to send me a producer. I'm working on a documentary. Like, I'm about to break this story. No one's about to do it like how we're about to do it. And then I started working, bro, on the legal marijuana story investigations.
Wait.
Whoa. Out of SoCal, bro. Like literally not too far from us. I could probably take you one day.
I'm just okay. These are real reactions. All right. So I'm like, you guys at home. Okay, wait.
And this is our first real convo, bro. This is all genuine. This is genuine.
This is not. That's why I love these conversations, right? Where is law enforcement? What is the LA? Because the AV is ran by the sheriffs, right?
Yes, AV still technically, guys, is LA County Sheriff.
Yes.
The issue is though, bro, is out there. Let's say let's say you had a farm out there, you and the wife, you're doing your thing. You ran into an armed cartel member, so you say, hey, I'm gonna call law enforcement. He goes, hey, JR, thanks for calling. It's gonna take 3 hours for me to get out there. So that's how the cartel took advantage of that too, bro. And there's other loopholes because of the marijuana being legal. But the big one that I found out was that when marijuana became legal in Cali, growing it illegal became a misdemeanor. So the way that LA County Sheriff broke it down to me goes, hey, Jorge, the cartels find a loophole, meaning that like you and I right now, bro, we could have a 50,000 illegal marijuana plant right now, Antelope Acres, and LA County Sheriff could bust us. But if they can't find evidence that we're stealing water, we're forcing migrants to work for us, all they could slap us down with is a $500 misdemeanor. So if you're a cartel and if LA County Sheriff's going to shut down your operation, bro, you could start one again tomorrow.
I'm in the wrong business. Yeah. You're busting my ass and shit.
So that right there, wild. So that town hall, bro, was I was awakened by that, and then that started off me and a producer. His name is Sagnik Basu. It started off our investigation into Mexican cartels in the Antelope Valley. And what we were able to uncover was amazing, bro, because what I did is I Googled, okay, I'm like, let me see how local media covered this. And the most you would see, bro, is they would throw a reporter up in a helicopter, and then the helicopter would fly over a marijuana farm that is controlled by the cartel, and then the reporter would just point and be like, yeah, yada, yada, illegal marijuana farm. And I'm like, you know what? Like, we could do this way better. So I got my boy Eric out of San Diego as our drone guy. And what we did, bro, was a crazy risk, but it was amazing, is we would meet with these neighbors that were getting threats by the cartel, obviously interview them, tell their story, and then the neighbor will locate their farm for us. And what we would do is, we would do it 2 times. In the middle of the day, me and Eric, Jesus Christ, man, me and Eric in my little like Honda Civic would drive. We're in the middle of nowhere, guys. So like if the cartel sees you out there, you're smoked. We would go out there in the middle of nowhere, bro, to these illegal marijuana farms, and from a distance, we would fly the drone over the farm. So my boy would launch the drone, and we started then collecting the very first
Just you
video.
and Eric.
Just me and Eric. We got no. Also, we're not armed.
This guy
Not getting
huevos.
Yo, and it's just me, just me, like skinny Salvi and my fat Mexican friend Eric, bro. And we were just droning, bro. We would drone these marijuana farms, and then on one instance we got car chased by the cartel. So we got car chased a couple of times where they spotted us in the middle of the day. But the neighbors, bro, would also tell us, you guys also have to come out in the middle of the night because these operations, because of how big they are, they light up the skies in the desert. So then at night, bro, me and Eric, same thing. We would get in our car, little Honda Civic in Palmdale at like 11 p.m., get out to the outskirts, maybe get out there around midnight, 1, and start droning them at night. And then Eric was very scared at night. I feel like at night, bro, we had the advantage because I feel like they couldn't see us in the dark. So I liked the night droning. And it was funny because one night, bro, we went out with a neighbor. We're droning one of these farms. They're really big and sophisticated guys, like these illegal marijuana farms. And the funny thing is, bro, we're droning it, and a couple of the workers were armed on the grow. They see the drone, and they hear it. They think that the drone is LA County Sheriff. So the guy's like on the ground panicking. Like, he's speaking Spanish. They're like yelling at the other workers. And then we just see like 3 or 4 of them run into the desert because they think that the sheriff's going to move in and raid the grow. And it was like, it was just us. So we were filming these guys, running away and everything. But that right there, bro, it was an important story because it had so many angles to it. Because I think the thing is, marijuana is legal, so people don't think it's a big deal, but they don't know the underworld, the dark, kind of the whole other side of illegal marijuana. If you're from Northern California, you're hearing this, it's probably nothing new to you. Humboldt County, all that stuff. They're used to kind of that organized crime being up in Northern California, people disappearing. That's how you hear about Humboldt County and the mountain murders up there. But no one, they never seen it, bro, in the deserts. So they were seeing the murders in the deserts. The big thing here in California for us is the water. So they were stealing water from hardworking farmers. And they were basically, the other thing, bro, you'll like this because you're a real estate guy, is the cartels, bro, also knew how to do loopholes in real estate. Meaning what they'll do is they were going up to residents and be like, hey, you know what's going on up here. You see the community changing. We just push your neighbor out. What's this house on the market? 180. We'll give you 220 cash. Leave by next month, and we want this home. And then what the cartel was doing, bros, they were turning these small rural neighborhoods into their own communities. Like they were just buying people out, either by just, hey, we'll give you the cash, or they would just make life hell. And then eventually you're like, you know what, I'll just take it and leave. I'll credit to the few white farmers out there, like true Americans, that they were getting offered like $300K, like, I'm not leaving. You're gonna have to kill me to leave. Like, I'm not seeing my community change. Like, and so those were also powerful stories. But the real estate issue was also important, bro, which I was kind of learning about, and I want you to comment on this. Then I went to Acton, bro, and then Acton, which is before you get to Antelope Valley, they were having the same issue, illegal marijuana, but the grows were indoor the homes. And I interviewed a real estate agent off the record. They were so scared to come on camera. Who they were like, dude, the Armenians are coming up, and they're buying up homes. But instead of doing the big outdoor grow like the Mexicans, they're buying up the homes and then they're darkening up all the windows and they're doing the grows inside with a bunch of generators. He says, but they're destroying our home value, but we can't do anything. And the thing is, like, there was like a thing, like they can't discriminate. So like if an Armenian comes up like, no, we have the money to buy it, they can't, even though they know that the home's gonna be turned into a legal marijuana home, they could not do the thing. So well,
if they're giving you a fair market value for it, and somebody comes up, they can't just say, "Oh no."
Yep.
But if they're knowingly, oh man,
it's tough though, right?
There's a lot of things that you have to factor in, but oh man,
I would love, bro. If
you
anything,
can't discriminate.
I would love if you could maybe talk to one of these real estate owners with me up in Acton, who are like, they were seeing this, but I was learning about that too.
At the end of the day, can nobody force you to sell?
There you go. Yeah.
It don't matter who it is. So it's like, oh, okay, no. But I'm sure that they see what's happening. They're more inclined to sell.
So the Armenians were in Acton. But Mexicans were up in the AV.
Okay.
Hold on. I want to add this real quick because this is where it gets good, bro. I get on the ride along with San Bernardino County Sheriff. They raided a marijuana grow. And this is where like the alarm starts to go off again. And this is, we go to that grow. They raid it. We're expecting like the normal thing, bro. Mexican national. That's what we've been raiding. We go to this one, bro. They raid it. All the workers from China, all speaking Mandarin. they don't even know what the hell's going on. Even the operation, bro, was more sophisticated. One thing that the San Bernardino County Sheriff says, hey, you could tell this one's Chinese owned. He says it's way more sophisticated than the Mexicans. Look at the wiring, and stuff. So he was breaking it. But the workers, bro, were smuggled in from China through Mexico and were literally brought to a desert in San Bernardino County. For folks who don't know, San Bernardino County is big as New Jersey, massive county. And these Chinese criminal organization, bro, was forcing these Chinese guys to grow the marijuana.
And most likely against their will.
Against their will.
Like, hey, we're going to bring you here, but this is what you're going to do.
Yep.
So when they get busted, do they get deported?
So they get in trouble, and in some instances they get deported. But this was happening under Biden, bro. So all they was doing is getting like a misdemeanor, slap on a ticket, and LA County Sheriff can't do anything. San Bernardino County Sheriff couldn't do anything, bro.
Well, let me ask you this. Now that we're talking a lot about Biden, do you think what Trump is doing with the whole deportations is a direct? It's a direct like F you to Biden because of what he did. So he allowed X amount of people coming in, and now Trump takes over and he's like, oh, okay. So everybody you let in, we're gonna kick them right back out.
It's like a yin yang, bro.
Yes.
Like the pendulum's always gonna swing. Not only that, the real mastermind behind all these deportation stuff is Stephen Miller. So the minute that if you when Trump 2.0 comes in, the minute that he even puts Stephen Miller as a White House deputy, oh yeah, you got to know it's game over because Stephen Miller is like, that's his number one thing. He's born to deport. Like that is his thing. So like when he came in, that's what when you saw, bro. When he came in, Trump 2.0, Trump has never heard of like Foreign Terrorist Act and like all this stuff. Stephen Miller brought that up. He's like, hey man, why don't we label Trinidad Agua a foreign terrorist organization, and it makes it a little bit easier to deport Venezuelan nationals without going to court. Not only that, we're going to pressure Bukele into a deal. So when we deport them, they go to Sakat. And Trump's like, yeah, sign me up. You think Trump's, I mean, come on. I know Trump's a smart guy. I'm taking it. He's a genius. I mean, that's what he's a president. But he's not like sophisticated genius, like autistic genius to know the loophole and how all that stuff works. Where Stephen Miller,
I like that.
Where Stephen Miller is. So I know right now people are like Trump's deportation. This is Stephen Miller's deportation. If it was up to Stephen Miller, this would be 10 times more aggressive than what we're seeing.
That's crazy.
The issue, though, JR, is this is what people have to understand. Now we're talking about this particular issue is a lot of people support deportation agenda, especially a lot of like the Latinos that saw, especially in Texas, saw the communities change. The thing is, though, that this is where the Trump administration had to ask themselves: does the American public have the stomach for it? Though it sounds great on paper, but do they have the stomach for it? And I think the way they carried out, the American people do not have the stomach for deportation
I don't
agenda.
think so. And then the way it was manipulated.
Yeah. So I don't think we'll ever see like any other president do a super aggressive push. Even right now, even with Trump 2.0, it's died down, bro. There's no border patrol going to cities. There's no operation this into a major city. All that has just died down. So that's been kind of interesting to me seeing that as well.
But he's still enforcing those borders.
Oh,
yeah. That's what he is doing.
Yes. The key thing with Trump to Biden that's as simple as it is if you cross under Trump, you're not getting paroled into the country. Where Biden, you were getting that reward of getting paroled. It got so bad. Like, I remember, like, you would see migrants cross, and, like, when they were, as they were crossing from, like, Mexican soil and touching American soil, they were, like, FaceTiming their family members, like, back in Chile or Guatemala, and, like, almost, like, bragging and being like, yo, if I could do it, you could do it too. And so, like, by that time, bro, they were, like, FaceTiming, doing it. They were going, like, Facebook Live and stuff like that.
No, man.
Dude, it got bad,
But
bro.
now they're not FaceTiming now.
Yeah.
Back. Like,
There been a couple of times where I've been working it and you run into some Venezuelans, bro. Some women, I'd be like, I could save you right now. I could have gave you some U.S. citizenship, huh? so you see some fun, crazy stuff
man,
down there.
I bet you see so much crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Bro.
The American people, bro, have literally no idea, bro. Even like, there's already been a few instances, bro, where I found kids by themselves. That's been a trippy thing too, bro. Where like I remember I found this little girl from Central America, like Honduras, on the border, where like basically a smuggler literally just crosses them over and drops that kid off by themselves. Someone could care if like the kid survives or dies or whatever. There was and this is, bro, like they cross over this little girl, 4 or 5 years old from Honduras, and this is what like a little trick that I learned is they'll cross them by themselves, and then they'll write. Like let's say I like with this girl, bro. I remember I found her. I think we were in Eagle Pass, Texas. So I think this would be Starr County. I found her with a Texas DPS trooper, and when the trooper talks to her, he goes like, "Where are you from?" She goes, "Soy de Honduras," and he goes, "This is my mom's number." And then on her like arm, bro, would be a name was written. It was Mama Patty, and had a phone number. And that was like a system that I learned, bro, where like families in Central America or even parents would pay cartels and smugglers to have their kids smuggled by themselves, their parent not with them, smuggled through Mexico, and then dropped in the United States, and then connect them with a family member or a sponsor. So these kids, bro, will be dropped off by a coyote, and then literally written, like with this little girl's Mama Patty, and it had a phone number. So the Texas DPS trooper goes, hey, he goes, I have to obviously take her to Border Patrol. He's like, if you want, you can take a picture of that number. I go, yeah, let me do that. So I remember I took a picture of that. I called his mom. She answers, bro, and she's in South Carolina, which I thought this mom would be in Honduras because her daughter's, you know. But I guess the mom came first, so I called his mom. She's bawling, bro, because she's telling me, like, I paid the coyotes, and I guess she was saying that the coyotes every day, and she sent me these pictures, so I had them to verify. Every day, bro, could you imagine, bro, like, you paying the cartel to smuggle your son or your daughter through Mexico, right? And then you trusting the cartel that every night, before they go to bed, the cartel's sending you pictures of your kid. Well, oh yeah, everything's fine. So every night, the cartel or the smugglers were giving her updates on her daughter. Like, we're fine. And I guess you were saying like before I made that phone call to her the week before, they cut off communication with her. So she would call straight to voicemail, no more daily updates. So she thought, oh, they took my daughter into sex trafficking. Like, they got me. They gained me. So she's thinking her daughter is trafficked or dead. Has no idea. Until I give her a call, bro. Random phone number. She glad she picked up. So she's crying, bro. Like crying. Like she's telling me, "You're an angel. You're an angel. Es un ángel. Like I thought she was dead. Se murió." And I'm like, no. Like Texas DPS found her. Now the normal protocol, bro, is because Texas authorities found her. You know, this is still like a federal thing. So all the Texas troopers could do is interview her, make sure that her body doesn't have any marks of like physical sexual abuse, and then immediately have to turn her to Border Patrol. Then Border Patrol has their own process. So at that time, bro, I was working for News Nation, and I tell my editor, hey, I got this story. I found this girl. I got the number. I connected with the mom. She's in South Carolina. I'm like, I'm tripping out because like, why is the mom in South Carolina? And then my editor goes, buy a ticket. Go to South Carolina, meet the mom. So I start talking to mom on WhatsApp. Also, you got to remember, bro, this is a system that the cartels use all the time. So a lot of these kids always get released to adults who are not their family members and are not their parents. That's why a lot of these kids get lost in the system, sex trafficking, labor trafficking. There's a very dark world, bro, with all this border stuff. So could you imagine me like, okay, I got an address, I made the connection. I could be potentially, bro, meeting a cartel operative. I could be meeting someone who's going to kidnap this little girl. But I'm like, you know what? I have good faith. So far, bro, I have a feeling this has to be the mom. Like the way she's talking to me, the way she's crying. She gave me an address. Like she's letting a national reporter go meet her. So I'm talking to the mom. I'll go, hey, what is the government telling you? They're like, that my daughter's going to get released on X date. So I remember like I found her in November. It was like the middle of December, like almost before Christmas, the government releases the daughter. So the U.S. government and the U.S. Border Patrol through the human something, I forgot the services, Human Health Department, they contact the mom and says, hey, we have your daughter. They go through some verification process. I'm not too clear. And then they pick the date in an airport. And where the mom lived in South Carolina, they flew her to Georgia. So the mom met her at the Georgia airport, picked her up, brought her back to South Carolina. So I flew after that. So I go meet the mom. And, you know, thank God it was a mom. It was her. It wasn't some dark criminal thing. So they meet. And then the mom's like, yeah, basically I paid a coyote. She's like, the thing is, when I would cross with me, they would always deport me and my daughter. So I'm like, the only way that we could beat the system, this is the thing too, bro, is when the U.S. Border Patrol encounters these kids, you can't deport a 13-year-old, you can't deport a 12-year-old. So the U.S. government has to take him in. So the cartel kind of knows this. So I'm thinking the cartel coached his mom, hey, let's do it this way. Send us just with your daughter. Your daughter's going to be let in. And so she basically found a way to game the system. And then it was interesting, bro. Like, she gave me the packet that the U.S. government does. So, like, the verification process. Even her daughter, they gave her, like, an ID, which was weird. Like, the U.S. government has an ID on her daughter. She was telling me, bro, that her daughter went multiple days in that facility, like, not eating. She said when she met her daughter at the Georgia airport, she had lice. And I was just alarmed, bro, just to seeing how it's a whole nother world that I think Americans really don't know, that's almost operating in the shadows. In that instance, in this story, it ended up like that is the mom. I don't agree with how this was done, but at least it was the mom. But numerous instances, bro, where these kids get lost in the system. A lot of these kids, bro, go to the same sponsor. There was like a special government report was like, hey, why did like this one sponsor get like 5 different kids to his house? You know, so it's just like a dark underworld, bro, that I think people don't know how much these migrant kids get exploited. And the part that hurts, bro, it's like, you know, under Biden, the whole system got overwhelmed. I mean, all the kids that came in, all the people that died. I was in Eagle Pass, Texas, bro. That was like one of the main places where I reported from. Across from it was Pedas Negras. So to get to Eagle Pass, you had to go through the Rio Grande. The amount of, and I witnessed it, the amount of grown men that I've seen swept in those waters, pregnant mothers, kids swept in those waters. As a reporter, this might sound stupid, but I went in that Rio Grande myself, bro, to be like, I can't be telling the story and not feel it. So I myself, bro, went in those currents and I almost got swept myself. So I got to feel like, holy crap, this is what happened. And I remember, bro, I was in Eagle Pass. I was talking to a sheriff, and the sheriff pulls me to the side. He goes, Jorge, you know, right now here in Eagle Pass, these are stories that never got highlighted in mainstream, bro. No one in the Oscars gave these people a speech. But I remember in Eagle Pass, Texas, a sheriff telling me, right now we're averaging a drowning per day right here in Eagle Pass, Texas. And I go, a drowning per day? He says, average. He says, on a good day, we're pulling 3 bodies out of here. And I go, what? He said, Jorge, it's gotten to a point, like there's a little cemetery in Eagle Pass. They ran out of space to bury the bodies. So me and the sheriff, we go to shoot this because I want to shoot the interview there to make it powerful. We go to the cemetery, bro, and there was no more room for the bodies. So the sheriff's telling me, he's like, I'm calling Governor Abbott to send me these. I didn't even know what this was. These trailers, bro, that are like freezed, so they could store the bodies in them because they didn't have enough room to bury them. And then when we walked through the cemetery, all the migrants, bro, that they were pulling out of the Rio Grande, all of them, instead of having regular crosses, they had makeshift crosses of the PVC pipes. And because they can't identify the bodies, it'd be like John Doe, Jane Doe. And it'll be like the dates they pulled them out of the Rio Grande. John Doe, August 10th. Jane Doe, and then this is the heartbreaking part, bro. And then you get to the section where it's baby John Doe, baby Jane Doe, baby John Doe. And you're reading 3 months, 9 months. And the guy's like, he's like, dude, I don't know what to do, bro. He's like, we're Eagle Pass, Texas. We're not ready to take on a federal problem. He's like, then he was telling me, he's like, bro, all of my deputies are having PTSD issues because like they're pulling. He's like, the amount of bodies we're pulling out is like we're basically in the Iraq War. He's like, this is not normal.
What the fuck?
And who gave them an Oscar speech, bro? What actress did the little grift thing of like, hey, pray for those black and brown lives matter right now, like that are losing their lives, because of the border. Like no one cared about them, bro. No one went down there. No one cried for them. So for me, bro, like I just felt like, you know what? As a storyteller, I'm gonna just tell the story, and I'm gonna just do it from a human level, bro. I'm not gonna do this right, left. I'm not gonna make the story sexy for Fox News. I'm not gonna make the story fit for a CNN audience. I'm gonna tell this raw, human. I'm gonna tell it from the sheriff perspective. I'm gonna tell it from the migrant perspective. I'm gonna tell it so you could feel it. Like people are dying every day, dude. When you see a grown man swept in those waters, you're like, it's no joke. And mothers went in there, bro, with 3 months newborn, like in those waters, and you're just watching it, like. And I remember we were in Eagle Pass I was there every day, bro. Like there's no reporter that spent more time in Eagle Pass, Texas than me. I guarantee you, bro. Everyone in Eagle Pass knew me. I basically lived in that city because we were telling those stories, and we went to Pedas Negras and told that from the Mexican side too, bro. Like, and no one cared for those people, bro. Can you believe a sheriff, bro, having to call a governor? Hey, I need a freezer-ized trailer. I don't know where to put these bodies. Even they have like those little counties, bro, like their medical examiner people, like their coroners. I can't ID those bodies.
How deep is that river?
Oh, I wouldn't even know, bro. But the current is like nothing I experienced. The thing is, when I started reporting from there, you look at the water, You're like, oh, I could swim through this easy. And then you notice, oh, no. There's something powerful in there. So I did that a couple times, bro. I would cross it with a cameraman, and I felt it, bro. And it was so strong. There was one where it whipped me, and it was gonna take me. And my cameraman like got me by the collar, and I think that was like, all right, we can't do it anymore. But I wanted to go in there, bro, to feel it and be like, now we could tell that the story that's raw. And we were getting those stories out to an American audience that was not consuming that was watching a very PG-13, if they were even getting that story. Or they were getting the boomer Fox News of everyone's a terrorist who's but they weren't getting it like raw. They weren't getting you like, no, this is how the system is working, how the cartels are gaming the system and everything too.
But it makes you think. People risk their lives to come into the U.S. How bad is it in Mexico or in their countries that they have to risk their lives to get here?
And I want to tell people too, bro, at the end of the day, like, I know everyone's pissed off at the story, but like the people, bro, like the genuine people, like no one wants to leave their home. No. That's a fact. So it's heartbreaking. Well, I was interviewing mostly like the Venezuelans and Cubans who are like, they've like lost everything, and they took this like journey knowing like I got a 1% chance to make it. The one part I remember too, bro, like there was a clip, if people want to look it up. I remember when I was in Del Rio when the Venezuelan wave first came, and I was in an area where I remember I was taking a shot of all these like Venezuelans who were going through a river and they were getting onto like American soil. And what was like noticeably interesting about this clip was I was filming it, and every Venezuelan, bro, that got onto American soil would get on their knee and then kiss the dirt, and they all did that. And those little moments, bro, you just think about like, man, we are like ridiculously lucky to be here. I'm Salvadorian, man, so like my parents had a crazy journey too to get here. So you feel grateful, and then in those moments, like once again, it's just like my job as an American to be a storyteller, bro, to get that as raw it is to an audience, and just to see how they consume it, how they feel about it. But that was raw, bro. Like those moments are raw. Absolutely. And you're meeting people that like sacrifice everything. There was a moment that I'll never forget. Like it was in that same moment in Del Rio where like the streamline was coming, they were kissing the dirt, and the last two people to come was like this 20-year-old kid. He looked, like nice and fit, this Venezuelan guy, but he was carrying like a older lady. She looked like she might have been like 70, maybe 80, but she was in very bad shape. And this guy was trekking it. And I remember filming this moment, and I knew this moment was like going to be big. And he gets to American soil, he's greeted by Texas troopers, and this lady, bro, she looks like your grandma, looks beat up, and like you're just like, how could this lady make this trip? I put that clip up, and it was emotional. Like people like really, people like cried to it, and it went viral like in South America. So I was getting invited onto Univision, Telemundo to talk about these moments, and all those stories were really changed how Americans think about immigration. I was getting messages from people like, I didn't know that it was like this. I thought like, oh, border open, people just come, and it was. I'm like, no. There's a cartel deep kind of underworld that you don't see, and even like. I remember when I was like, I think in 2022 when I learned about what a rape tree was in Arizona, bro, where like the coyotes, where they rape the migrant women and the teenagers, and they hang up their underwear on trees to show off like a trophy, and also to like almost like an FU to the American authorities, like, yeah, we could do this on American soil, what's up, and we'll run it like all those things, bro. You're just like, but those stories never get really out there. So that was really my goal, man, is to take that moment and to somehow storytell it to an American audience, so it's raw, it's informative, and they could take it and digest it. And that's kind of been my goal, bro. That's like kind of what drives me to this day. I'm super motivated by that, and just to keep doing it like that. Dude, I know, bro. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know how raw we get on the pod, bro, but this was real shit.
I need you to be you. I want you to tell your story.
The rape trees, bro.
Yes.
Yeah, find out about this in Arizona.
I want you to be as raw as possible.
So let me So I was in Yuma, Arizona, bro.
Okay.
And I've been hearing about the rumor about rape trees from Border Patrol, but I've never seen it myself.
I've never heard of that.
And then I'm in a sketchy part of Yuma. For folks who don't know, Yuma under the Biden was super sketchy because the cartels will smuggle in thousands of migrants in the middle of the night. But what made Yuma interesting, bro, is that they would be smuggling these groups of migrants. Normally, bro, when you run into a group of migrants, all from Venezuela, all from Turkey, all from China, or sometimes they'll have the different nationalities. But what made Yuma interesting, bro, is you would run into a group. It could be like, oh, I'm from Russia, I'm from Turkey, I'm from Venezuela. It could be from 10 different countries in one group. So that's why I was focusing on Yuma a lot. I get a tip about a rape tree at a particularly like sketchy location of the border, and I reach out to a border patrol agent of how real this tip is. He goes, "You should check it out. It's legit." He's like, as a reporter, I wouldn't go. Anytime I hear "don't go," I go. So then we went, and it was raw, bro. It was like a super sketchy area of that Yuma border, where like no authorities really were. Lots of like kind of trees, bushy, and then all those areas, bro, like on the ground were like condom wrappers, and then on the trees were like the underwear, drawers. Not only were there condom wrappers, there was like Plan B pills everywhere, littered. And that was my first time encountering a rape tree in Yuma, Arizona. Not only that, bro, when I was reporting in Yuma, Arizona, because I focus also a lot in that area, that was the first time where I have another instance, but I encountered a smuggler who basically like came up to me and was like, hey, I used to go to the Yuma, Arizona, bro, in my dad's F-150 truck. So I encountered a smuggler, and he goes, hey, is that your F-150? And I go, yeah, it is. He goes, I'll give you a 6-year-old girl right now if you give me a ride in that F-150 in the Yuma. And I go, what? He goes, I have a 6-year-old girl right now in the stash house. I'll give you a girl if you could get me in that truck in Yuma. I'm like, what? And then, dude, I was like, I got scared, and like I've never like I was like flustered, and then I think the guy could see that, and then he dipped out of there because he doesn't know if U.S. Border Patrol is gonna show up. And I remember I went to Twitter, put that out. Like I've never like literally had a smuggler offer me a kid like in Yuma. I mean, he could be bluffing, who knows? But it's like I said, it's the border, bro, and it's a deep underworld that I think people, especially in the United States, we do not understand. The rape trees, all the stuff, finding kids. Like I said, finding that little girl from Honduras. The good thing, bro, is that when I find that little girl, she wasn't sedated. You find a lot of these kids, bro, sedated. They'll give them like all these to knock them out, drugs.
What?
You said somebody offered you a kid?
Offer me a kid for a ride in Yuma, Arizona, bro. Because the smuggler, because I would drive like I said, my dad's truck.
How did that go? Like, was it like, hey, bro, can you give me a ride on drop out this 7-year-old?
Basically,
in Spanish?
Yeah. And then I freaked out, bro, because because the thing is, these smugglers are sketchy guys. Obvious, like this is obvious stuff. But I was like flustered, and he kept pressuring me. He's like, just give me a ride into Yuma. He's like, give me a ride into Yuma. Give me back. I got you a kid right now. And then, dude, I was like, I freaked out, and all I did, bro, was I got back to my truck and got out of there. And a lot of my followers know this, but in Yuma, Arizona too, bro, this was in October 2022. I'll never forget this moment. It was like 7 a.m. There was a location, that same spot that I got offered a kid. I kept reporting from there because a lot of smugglers would take migrants up to like it was called the Colorado River, but there was no water. But they would take them up right to the borderline of the U.S.-Mexico border, and then they would take a cash payment from the migrants, and the migrants would then just walk onto American soil. The reason that was so kind of like shocking is like you never saw that in broad daylight. You would never see a smuggler taking cash money in broad daylight. Like all that stuff was happening not like that. So we kept filming them from this spot. And I remember an agent, Border Patrol would always tell me, he's like, hey man, if you're gonna go down there, you gotta have a weapon. Like those guys they play different. They're different. And I remember it was one day, bro, October, same spot where I got offered a girl. I think it was like 3 months before. I go to this location, and it was like 7 a.m, so it was fresh. Me and this cameraman, I'm like, hey man, let's go get one more shot of these guys taking money, and let's put this report out. So we get to the spot. Like I said, it's a really early, overcast day, and what caught my attention, bro, that we had a smuggler coming. But normally the smuggler always brings like a family or like at least multiple individuals, but the smuggler was only bringing in one man, and this one man, bro, had a large black backpack. So this was already like, okay, this could be something's up here because it's just one guy. So he brings this one guy, and then kind of same thing as usual, takes the cash payment. I'm filming this, so I'm getting the video evidence of it. And I think in that moment, man, I must have just like, must have got lost of just capturing the video. I didn't realize like, if he looks up or sees something, he could maybe potentially see us. I was so focused on getting zoomed in and getting this video. So we're shooting the video. It looks great. The guy spots me, and I don't know that he's armed at this time. So he turns around, gets up, and then in Spanish, gets his pistol from his right, and now he has me at gunpoint. Like, we're not too close, but he's pointing at me. Then he's saying it in Spanish. He says, "Drop the phone. Give me the phone. Give me the phone." And then your mind, at least for me, went to fight or flight. And I remember in that my mind, bro, in a split second, I made the decision of like, okay, I'm not gonna give the smuggler my phone. I'm gonna put this in my pocket. I'm gonna run back to the U.S. side. But in my mind, I made the decision. I'm like, but I'm gonna give him the power of, do you want to fire shots at a U.S. journalist on the U.S. Border Patrol? I'm gonna leave that up to you, but I'm not giving you my effing phone. So the guy's like pointing the gun, literally screaming. Like, this is maybe like a 10-second situation, but it feels like it lasts an hour. So the guy's like, "Dame tu, threatening me." My white boy cameraman Justin is off to the races.
No
He's already running. So I start running, bro, and I start running back to the U.S. side. Because in my mind, I'm like, once again, I'm like, I'm gonna let you, bro. Balls in your court. If you want to fire shots and do this whole thing right now on the U.S. border, all right, cartel guy, like, that's on you. So the whole time I'm running, bro, like, obviously your adrenaline's you're rushing. The whole time I'm running, I'm thinking in my head, at any moment, I don't know why I said this, but I'm like, at any moment, I'm gonna feel a fire sensation hit my back. And when I feel that fire and sensation, you just have to keep running. Because I'm thinking he's gonna shoot me, so I'm gonna feel that bullet. It's gonna feel like
I would have zigzagged, bro.
But the thing is, you are though, bro, because you're running. So I'm running, bro, like adrenaline rush, and you're breathing heavy. I actually ate shit, so I fucking fall on my face, eat shit. I'm thinking like, this fucking coyote or whatever this guy is thinks I'm an idiot. But I get back up, bro, and I run back up, and there was 2 other journalists at this little camp post. Run up, and we all greet each other. Like, I think the guy got scared off too, because he's like, I don't want to fire shots at a U.S. border at a journalist, because obviously U.S. Border Patrol is going to come and shut the smuggling spot down. So I get to these guys and I'm breathing. I'm like, yo, you guys see that? And they're like, you all right? Yeah. And then obviously I calm down. I go back to my video, bro, and I screenshot the image where he's like this with the gun. I screenshot it and I sent it to 2 reporters. I sent it to Julio Rosas, and then the second one was Bill Malugin with Fox News. Big deal, Bill Malugin right now. He's killing it. So I go to Julio, goes, post the picture, but blur the face. I send it to the Fox News guy. He goes, post the picture, don't blur the face. Fucking let it ride. I go, okay, I'm listening to Fox News guy. So I go on Twitter, bro, post it like, hey guys, this will happen to me and Yuma, da-da-da-da. Boom, post it, bro. It catches flames. Goes mega viral. All these companies start, like, all these media outlets writing about it. People are interviewing me. I think I go on Fox News. I go on News Nation. I'm doing all the media hits. The next day, bro, I go back to that spot. And then the U.S. Border Patrol pulls up. He goes, He's like, are you the guy that the whole thing? I was like, yeah, that was me. Yeah. He goes, I want to let you know, man. He's like, thank you for posting that picture unblurred. Because of you, today, Yuma Border Patrol Station had a special meeting about that photo you posted. He says we're gonna deploy for a border attack. So people don't know, border attack is a special elite unit of Border Patrol who, like, they send in them for crazy situations. These guys could almost handle anything. And for people who don't know, Bortak is the one who took down the Uvalde shooter. So when that Uvalde happened, Bortak went in there and got him. So I want people to know how elite this unit is. He goes, we're deploying Bortak to that spot. He says, meaning we're gonna shut down that smuggling spot for at least a week. Meaning you have now cost the cartel hundreds of thousands of dollars every day. Bortak's in there. Meaning, get the F out of Yuma, like, now. And I'm like, really? He's like, you should get out now. He says, they got people in the U.S. He's like, you got to go. And he's like, all right. So we went literally to the motel, checked out, and then got out of Yuma. But the guy was very thankful. He's like, dude, we got Bortak. He's like, we're gonna shut this thing down. We're gonna get an ID on that guy. He's like, what else happened to you? I mean, he's like, he didn't hurt you. I'm like, no, that's how that happened. He's like, cool, yeah, we're shut down. He's like, but get out of Yuma, Arizona.
If you're looking to refinance your property to lower your payment, if you're looking to tap into your equity by doing a cash out refi, or possibly doing a home equity line of credit, give us a call, send us a text at 323-352-7946. Now let's get back to the episode. What's one thing that you have reported on that people refuse to believe?
Oh, that's a good one. You know what? I think, to be real with you, bro, what makes my thing different is when you have that video, it's right there and it's real and it's raw. So that's one thing, you know, like a lot of reporters, they'll do a story, but if you write an article or you just tweet about it, we also live in the era, bro. The video is everything, you know? So once you have that, it's kind of hard to refute it. At that point, bro, it's just your own biases kind of taking over. People always, the thing is people try to box you in and like, oh, because you reported on this, then you have to be that. And I think it started off for me, bro, was when I covered the 2020 Black Lives Matter riots. You know, so when I started going against the counter narrative, just because I went against the narrative Black Lives Matter, people thought, oh, he must be right wing. He must be this. They try to put you in a box. So I just think once you have that video and the storytelling, there's no refuting. After that, bro, it's got to be your own biases. You know, you got to be just.
Yeah, because I think a lot of us are more like, okay, you know, just like I mentioned earlier, like truth versus narrative. Truth versus narrative. You know, what's the truth? What narratives are the big media outlets pushing?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, so it's like.
And I try to counter that, bro. My reporting is always going to be a counter narrative. So Black Lives Matter, we countered it. We exposed like the true riots, the destruction. I don't know if you know this, JR. I was actually one of the few reporters on the ground for the Rittenhouse shooting in Kenosha.
Really?
I'm also like, and the reason I'm mentioning this is because I'm one of the few, I think there's only 6 of us that got on the ground video of the Rittenhouse shooting. So there's 6 reporters. There's like BG on the scene, Richard McGinnis, Shelby Telcott, a few more, Julio Rosas. That video, bro, was used in court and basically freed Rittenhouse, because Rittenhouse was not only he was up against the media conglomerate that wanted him in prison. Yeah. So he was up against this $1 billion propaganda machine. And because 6 reporters on the ground had that video, that actually might be a good answer to that first question, is the Rittenhouse shooting, bro. Because we were on the ground and we showed all the angles of it. Once again, it goes against the counter again. And then when we got into the COVID world, bro, I came back to Cali, and I remember, if you guys remember, if you watch the news, you know, you turn on CNN or any of them, they had the COVID cases ticker. So if you watch it, it was like a ticker. So the narrative, bro, was COVID shut down everything. And I, once again, went against it. The first thing I did, I think you appreciate this, bro, owning a business, is I was in Palmdale for the holidays. And I remember, bro, I have a bunch of family friends that I went to high school with their families own businesses and restaurants in Palmdale. All the restaurants were closed because of Newsom. And not only that, the restaurants were stuck on takeout only. So I remember I was going to these restaurants and talking to my friends who were crying to my shoulders, saying, we're going to lose everything. We're going to lose everything. We can't pay our servers. It's over. So right there, bro, like even there, it's like the narrative was, let's hide because of COVID. And I said, wait, but who's telling the story of the business owners? Who's telling the story of the waiter who needs every check to make it, who needs every dollar to put food on the table? No one was doing that. So right there, bro, once again, credit to the Daily Caller. I called them. I said, I need a producer. Let's work on a mini documentary. And then we started doing this documentary, bro, and we called it Takeout Only. And we interviewed all these restaurants that were literally on takeout only, and like these business owners that, like, bro, worked their whole lives, opened up a business, like put their, have their kids running it, and like giving jobs to people in the community, people that I know, losing everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, those stories are heartbreaking. You guys, we don't have to relive them, but I remember I was interviewing a server too, bro. I was interviewing a server. He goes, hey, Jorge, I know we're losing everything, and I'm not getting any money. He's like, my wife is also a server, so she's not getting any money. So we have our two income household with no income. He goes, but that's not the worst of it. I'm like, wait, what do you mean, man? He goes, the worst of it is like when I go home. He goes, I have a 10-year-old daughter who had all A's, all-star baseball girl, like was just like athlete, played instruments, like just a wonder kid. He goes, now I go home, that same kid, when I talk to her, can't look me in the eye because of social anxiety, because she's been stuck on the laptop for 8 hours. Now she wants to kill herself. Now she's cutting her risk, and he's like, I don't know what to do to save my daughter. And I go, boom, bro, right there as a journalist, as a storyteller, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm hitting this small business angle, obviously, which is a great angle. We're going to put this story out because it's an important one. But I'm like, wait a minute. Like, who's telling his story of like all these kids that want to kill themselves because of the shutdown? Because once again, the narrative was shut down all the schools, shut down all the parks, whatever, curved, whatever to curve it. And that sparked another idea, bro. And once again, I went almost another rabbit hole for the next 3 months. All I did was interview parents about their kids that were in depression. And what was interesting about that story was you would catch me like on a Monday in South Central interviewing like a working class mom from Guatemala whose kids want to kill them. Same thing, depressed. She can't make ends meet. Can't hire a babysitter. School's closed. Someone in South Central dealing with that issue. That same day, bro, you could find me in Malibu, in the richest of mansions, millionaires, and their kid had the same issue that mom in South Central had. My kid is depressed, and I can't say. I got all the money in the world, and I can't save my kid because the world is shut down. And I remember just telling those stories, bro, and I did that for 3 months. Once again, counter narrative. What mainstream did. Actually, bro, to be real with you, it got so bad because what happens as a journalist when you do a story like this. When I'm interviewing think about it. For 90 days, I interviewed 3 families a day about the most horrible stuff, about suicide, basically. And I'll tell you the most powerful story, bro. But I did that, bro, for 3 months to the point on that 3rd month, bro, I myself was going insane because I was like, I can't be someone's therapist again. I can't listen to another like, my son is gonna murder himself or kill himself if I can't. Like it just brought me down. But the very last story, bro, that I did on this particular issue was I get a call from a family in Vancouver, Washington, saying, "Can you got to come in?" A family friend saying, "You got to come talk to my this family up here." So I go up there and I meet this dad. It's weird actually. Like I go and I meet them. I think this was January 2021. I meet this dad who has a 10-year-old boy. Kind of same story. Kid's awesome, A's athlete. But he was depressed, obviously, because the school shuts down and everything. Felt like his whole world was collapsing. So according to the parents, there was a day where like the kid was staying with his grandpa at his apartment. The grandpa, like I guess, goes to Walmart for like an hour. In the span of that an hour, Taven grabs his grandfather's pistol, points the pistol inside his mouth, shoots it. His grandpa doesn't know if Taven shot himself 2 minutes ago or 50 minutes ago when he gets home. But all he does is his grandpa gets home to the scene of Taven, 10-year-old kid in Vancouver, Washington, on the floor, bleeding, obviously from the back because he shot himself in the mouth, making that weird like, ugh, ugh, ugh. And his grandpa doesn't know, once again, because of how things happen, grandpa doesn't know if Taven just shot, like this shot just went off, it just happened, or has Taven been here for 45 minutes. So obviously the grandpa calls 911, freaking out. They get the kid to ICU. They like miraculously they save the kid's life, so they have him alive in this ICU. I then get the call, you got to come talk to this dad because this is insane. So I go call the dad, like I go meet the dad, and the dad's like, man, he's like, I don't know what to do. He's like, our state shut down. He's like, I did everything to save my son. He's like, I was calling other parents and being like, hey, can we meet at a park? And like the kids could play soccer, the kids could do this. And he was saying that the other parents were demonizing him for even having that idea. So he's like, I don't know what to do to save my son. And eventually, obviously, his son now tries to kill himself. So I go interview the dad, and I couldn't believe the story, dude. It's super heartbreaking. The shooting was so fresh that I couldn't even go see Taven because in the ICU, they only allowed the dad. Taven's story was powerful, bro. So I guess there was a girl in Pennsylvania who was a 10-year-old girl who wanted to kill herself too. She actually she got onto her second story roof and was going to jump off the roof to kill herself. Her dad saved her. And they worked on her mental health and she's starting to rebound. That girl found out about Taven. So by the time I got there, that little girl had already written a note to Taven. So I read this note, bro. This is like a 10-year-old girl from Pennsylvania, doesn't know who Taven is, and is like writing to him and was like, I know how you feel. I want to end it all too. But she's like, I was like heartbroken by this, bro. I'm over here like crying. I'm like, dude, I'm a grown man. And I'm like, I can't handle this stuff. But once again, bro, it was like just stories like that I wanted to broadcast. And just really quick for the audience, like Taven, right now, thank God, man, made it. Like I think the doctors, bro, had like less than a 2% chance to get his speech. They got his speech. They got his like thinking and everything. Like Taven now, bro,
he's good.
I go on his Facebook, normal kid, like goes to UFC fights with his dad. He's like living life, and I'm just like, oh man, thank God, man. Like it's like I'm like. That just gives me hope. But
shout out to Taven, man.
But it was like it's stories like that, bro. Always like going against that corporate media narrative, and it started off really early on big stories. Like it's easy now to say Black Lives Matter is corrupt, bro. It wasn't easy in May of 2020 as an intern at Daily Caller when no one knew me to go against the you know how many friends, bro, that I went to high school with that my mom fed, that my mom made pupusas for in my own house.
Not the pupusas.
Who called me and were like, "Oh, Jorge, you're a white supremacist. When did you sell out?" I'm like, "Sell out? I'm in a Honda Civic. Where's the check? Holy shit, how much is the check?" So once again, bro, anything that you do, it doesn't even have to be in media, bro. When you go against a narrative, on day one, it's hard. And that doesn't mean, this also doesn't even fit on narrative, just even like a simple as chasing your dream, bro. Just even doing that, you're going against a narrative even around the people around you, what they think of you. So like anything like that, bro, just know you're always going to face that like, oh no, why are you doing that, man? Or just fall in line like everyone else. When you start to break through, bro, once you get the truth out, oh man, you were right all along. Hey, actually, bro, I always believed in you. Or I always knew the same thing about Black Lives Matter, man. But it's like,
I knew it. I just didn't want to say it.
Didn't want to say it.
And went against you.
So
the fuck.
That's what I always try to do, bro. Is have that mentality of going against the narrative, get the truth out there the best way that I can, and let people consume it and think what they want on it.
Knowing what you know now from the pandemic, was it a pandemic? You think it was by design? Your honest opinion.
I think it was by design, 100% from China. I think China was long gaming us. They're already at war. They've been at war with us forever already. People think war like troops on the ground. No. Wars are fought away 100 different ways now in this era. I think China planned it. They unleashed it. They wanted not only to take down the U.S. economy. I think they were worried about it back-to-back Trump second term and what that could mean. China has a very cozy relationship with the Biden administration, and so many of their officials are making so much money off China. So I 100%, bro, think it's China. I do not trust China on any level, on any like I'm not trying to be like the anti-China hawk.
Well, isn't Gavin
boomer.
pretty buddy?
Dude, Gavin is, Mexico is too, Biden is too. So I think it came from China, man. 100%. 100%. The China virus. Yeah.
I don't want to start talking shit about Gavin in this episode, but
notice how he also cleaned up them streets, bro, when China came to SF.
Yeah.
So
fast.
Yeah.
And then 3 weeks later, back to normal.
I don't trust China for shit, bro. I really don't. Like they to me are public enemy number one. I don't trust any. When I saw that invasion at the border, even more, I'm like, nope. These guys are spies. If you could Google it right now, bro, there's so many Chinese that they go into our colleges. We find out they're a spy. Why are these Chinese, bro? They're buying all the farmland next to military bases, spying on our military bases. We just had the Chinese drones. I mean, the Chinese balloons come under Biden. We couldn't stop them. I think it was like a month ago, bro. We had a wave of drones by all these military bases. We can't identify them. I do not trust China at all. And I think they're infiltrating, and I think they've used the border under Biden. They succeeded, bro. They put tens of thousands of Chinese nationals in our country. Right. The other thing too, bro, Mexico and China, I do not like. They're very cozy. Because I report on the border a lot, I always cross San Isidro port of entry on foot to get to TJ. And when you cross, the signage is always in English. That's normal. It's an American going into Mexico. Yeah. Now you cross, bro. Half the signage is in English. The other half is in Mandarin. I report in Tijuana all the time. Massive Chinese population building up in Tijuana. If you go to Mexicali, Mexicali's Beijing. Mexicans know this. Mexicans already, yeah.
What?
Oh, dude, go to Mexicali right now. It's Beijing. There's probably more Chinese nationals in Mexicali or right around even with Mexican nationals. I'm telling you, bro. So China, I do not trust China. I know there's a lot of
How many sleeper cells?
Then we had the sleeper cell thing too. Dude, there has to be tens of thousands. I do not trust China, bro. And especially, bro, when I started, what was funny is I was working out in Texas. I was in a gym. Some Chinese guy comes up to me. He goes, Jorge, I'm a big fan of your work. You cover the border. He's like, and I should have got his number. He's like, because now it's a big debate in the news. He's like, I gotta tell you about something though, bro. I'm like, what's up? He's like, it's a big thing in my country, like where we get our women pregnant, we have a baby on your territory. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, it's a big thing in China. He's like, that's how I was a citizen. He's like, that's how I'm a citizen. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, my mom had birthed me in Guam. And I'm like, what? He broke it. And then now it's a bigger deal. But once again, bro, China's gaming the system through the birthright citizenship. Because when you have that baby on American soil, Now that baby's an American citizen, and now it could travel back and forth to China. So that baby could go back to China, meet with the CCP government, and then come back.
Is that why Trump is trying to end that?
That yes, and also, bro, the cartels have done that system for years. So for people who don't know this, a lot of cartels get Mexican women pregnant, get the women across the border. They'll have the baby on U.S. soil, and this is what in Mexico. This is narco juniors. So the narco junior, people think narco junior is like, oh, I'm just the son of a cartel leader. No. Narco junior is, I'm the son of a cartel leader, but I'm born on American soil, so I'm an American. So then they have the dual citizenship and they could travel. That's the El Chapo's twin daughters are born in Palmdale, where I'm from, dude. El Mencho's like the number one guy of now that El Mencho's gone, the number one guy of CJ&G was born in Orange County, California, bro. He's an American citizen, so. When you have that American citizen, you have so many advantages, dual citizenship. Also, you can buy weapons, and the gun trafficking becomes a lot easier too. But the China, bro, with the birthright, that's another thing too. So it's just all these.
How many
angles.
Iranians in TJ right now?
Okay, so I don't have an exact number, but I was just there like 3 weeks ago where I visited a mosque in TJ that's 2 blocks away from the border. This mosque has harbored. Once again, special interest aliens. These are individuals with terrorism ties. So I just went there, bro, like 3 weeks ago. When I got there, it was still very early in the war, but they said like an Iranian just arrived at that mosque. So between the time that I was there, between a day and 30 days, that Iranian was likely going to be on U.S. soil somehow, either legally, but most likely illegally by the cartel taking them to, once again, the Gata is a huge hotspot in Mexico because that's the outskirts of TJ, and then they drop them off in Jacumba Hospital.
I got to ask you this question. I have to. Do you think the Iranian war is a America first move?
I think it's an Israel first move, and it is Donald Trump's biggest political blunder. He is like putting all his political capital on this. We'll see if it's worth it. I don't think it is. And the thing is, too, what Trump is doing, he's also taking down J.D. Vance. See, the thing is, Trump, he's thinking about himself. He's like, Trump 2.0. I want to finish off the legacy with like a bunch of regime changes. So he loved what happened in Venezuela. You could tell he's still giddy. That's why he did Iran the way he did, because he's giddy off Venezuela. They're doing Iran right now. At some point, they're going to hit Cuba because you got Marco Rubio and Lindsey Graham hitting Cuba. But I think this is going to be he's risking all his political capital. And to be honest, bro, I don't know. I don't think he's leaving J.D. Vance in a good standing for 2020. Like, I think he's leaving J.D. Vance in a very, very bad spot.
Unless he
I mean, what do you think, bro? Is this America first?
I don't know, man. I think he's been compromised, and I think Israel has a lot of influence.
Let me tell you this, JR. I just covered the No Kings protest here in LA. When I was covering protests, bro, like when the right would have protests against Biden, the right had the momentum, as in like, they had the populist message. And what do I mean by that? They had the message of like, oh, they're the party that is not for free speech. They're the party that's going to take us into war. We're the working class. Groceries are up under Biden. Gas is up. Like they had that populist swing. And then I went to the No Kings just a few weeks ago here in LA. Now it seems like they got the populist message. When I was there, bro, there were so many signs. You would have never seen this like a few years ago, where it's Bibi controlling Trump and Trump's the puppet. It's Bibi's your master. And then now they're tying Trump to Epstein. So now Trump is the Epstein class. And hey, the Republicans are the one that have us in war. We're bombing Iran. I thought you guys were the anti. So now they have the momentum of like, no, they're the corporate side. And I'm like, something's happening there. Something's happening there. So I want to just once again say this really quick for the audience, because it's important to think about politics like this. If you're listening to this show, you're listening to JR, you're in the minority of consuming news. You're reading a lot of the news. You're in the know. You're in the know. You know what's going on. You know what's probably going on in the financial and the markets and stuff like that. But the majority of people, JR, real talk, are what I call the normies, right? They don't consume news like you and me. They take in a headline here or there. So I'm always interested on how they vote. So I consider my dad a normie. My dad's like a normal boomer, working class Salvadorian truck driver. He's just trying to put food on the table. So I'm like I'm trying to think of the news through him. So I'm asking my dad about the war. My dad doesn't know that BB's involved. He doesn't know that Lindsey Graham is flying to Israel and meeting with BB. Like, he doesn't know the in and outs. He doesn't know that stuff. What he does know, as a trucker, is diesel's up. And it's already killing him. So what I'm trying to say is that's how a lot of Americans think, is they might not have the war here forefront, but now when they go fill up gas, they'll see that, oh, wait, who's President Trump? Oh, okay, I'm voting Democrat next election, man. That's how voters think, bro. It's that simple. It's not this.
No matter, especially people that are here in California, no matter what Mr. Gavin Newsom has done, they're going to associate with
exactly
the price going up with diesel and stuff like that.
And look, I have a lot of friends, bro, that are conservative influencers, and credit to, they're doing the cute videos where like they're trying to explain to their audiences that no, this is Newsom's fault. It's real cute, but at the end of the day, Americans don't think like that. All they know is we're at war, a Republican's at president, and my gas is crazy high now.
I did a video blaming. Shit went viral. And I'm like, listen, gas prices are up because of this clown.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I appreciate you.
Bro, you fucking this, you fucking that. And I'm like,
you're Mossad? Yeah.
I never want to pretend like I'm a journalist like you. Like, I respect what you guys do. Okay? I know a little bit.
No, yeah.
I know a little bit. And I want to bless people with some knowledge. And bro, stupid viral. And you fucking this. And I'm just like, you guys don't pay attention to what happens in California?
Told you,
like,
bro,
at
least,
normies. Like at least, okay, I get it. There's some issues that don't pertain to California.
Right.
And I think whatever the president does, aside from the ICE raids or whatever, this is a blue state. You know, there's a lot of things that happen that have nothing to do with that guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay? So, and I'm trying to put it in terms where people could understand. But it's not working, Jorge.
I told you, bro.
What the fuck do I do, bro? It's not working. Like, these people don't fucking get it.
Americans just
like,
don't.
I'm not even. I never try to sway people right. I never try. I'm pretty neutral,
right?
Even though I have conservative values. But it's like, goddamn, I don't even know what to do.
This is funny.
This is crazy.
And this is the thing, Jay, with me, was with the Trump and the war thing, is like, he's risking all his political capital here. We're talking about this. It's growing to go unpopular with the Americans. And I like right now, bro, we should be like, if Trump was not in Iran, this like, and if I was his advisor, I'm like, Trump, Mr. President, you delivered one of your biggest political wins, if not the biggest political win, in under 30 days. That's the border. We should be hammering that victory to the American. Like, what people don't understand about politics, it's storytelling. It's you selling a story to the voter. So what Trump should be doing is selling the story. Hey, remember that guy? All these it's already over. 30 days. Like, that's a political victory. That's a promise. Mm-hmm. But instead, bro, the ICE raids were so bad that the story was a negative headlines. And now we're at this war. It's like, Trump, you're not telling a winning story. You're not telling the American people a winning story. So it's like, if you're a voter, you know, if you're in the middle, I'm saying like totally down the middle normie guy, are you excited to vote for JD? Is JD Vance getting you up? I'm not saying the left is doing this right now. Trust me, guys. They're having a hard time like getting people excited about Newsom. But does JD sell it? Yeah, like, you know, so it's, I don't know. It's going to be
I just think that when the headlines kind of got to like conservatives like me, like with the whole immigration thing, you know, I come from immigrant parents.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, dog, what are we doing here, dog? Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I can't defend this. Yeah. This is fucking crazy, dog. The gardener?
Yeah.
Really, dog?
Yeah,
like,
we're from SoCal, so
like,
it's like...
Fool, like this poor man is trying to feed it. Why don't you go get up? Man, don't get
Bro, they were hitting like taco shops in Downey. I mean, there was like a video, bro. People are literally just eating tacos in Downey. Really? And a U.S. Border Patrol in a green uniform pops out, let me see your ID. And I'm like, look, no matter how right wing you are on immigration, it's like, is that the U.S. you want to live in? Where like I'm at a restaurant and I got a guy in a green uniform.
It was too much for me. It was a little
ID.
bit too much for me. I ain't gonna lie.
So
I'm like, you could be getting different people, right? Like, what's the plan here, dog?
Well, Jerry, you know
Like,
what's
what?
interesting, bro, is even now some of the more right wing guys and hawkish on immigration, they're even coming out and being like, yo, why are we arresting the tamale lady when we got these Iranian sleeper cells in the country? So it's like,
That's my point.
we got potential terrorists.
Why don't you
dog.
go get these terrorists? Go get the terrorists. Go get the sleeper cells. Go get all these other individuals that are fucking
All these Chinese, bro.
chanting "Death to America" and all the Chinese that fucking hate us, and leave the taco lady alone and leave.
Why was Soleimani's like niece, bro? And like, I think they just arrested Soleimani's niece like a week ago. Marco Rubio was like, we stripped her visa. It's like, why was she in here for this long anyway? Why is like the daughter of the Ayatollah or whatever, like a niece to the Ayatollah, going to Coachella? What the fuck? Why are we arresting?
But yeah, you want to arrest a tamale lady?
Tamale lady,
Come on,
bro.
dog. Like, let's. I don't know, dog. You know, but I will say this: the Democratic Party is so fucked up as well
Yes.
that I still think that even JD Vance has a shot if he
Oh, I
goes
think
against
so.
Newsom.
I think so too.
People are so upset. Look, people are upset because Latinos voted for Trump,
Yes.
but they never take into consideration who they put on as the Democratic nominee. Like, how are you gonna put her? Like, come on, man. You should be mad at them. Like, that's the best that you motherfuckers could offer. That's crazy.
Okay, so if I'm a Republican advisor, okay, I said this about 6 months ago on one podcast, and I got roasted for it online, and then now people are coming to it. So I said this. I said, bro, if I'm a Republican advisor, I said this after the Venezuela operation. I go, if I'm Marco Rubio, I'm looking at the state of politics. I'm looking at 2028. I go, I will call a meeting with JD Vance. Okay, JD, we need to meet. Okay, so we have this meeting, his team and my team, Mark Rubio, Vance team. I go, if I'm Rubio, I go to Vance. I go, look, I'm looking at everything, and I'm looking also at the polling with Latinos, and we're now losing that Latino support because of how hard we went on the ICE raids. Also, the economy is not, there's some other factor, but the ICE raids. So if I'm Rubio, I go like, look, I've been Secretary of State, I've been running the game, I'm murdering it right now for President Trump on foreign policy. Latinos in South Florida love me. My name recognition is climbing. I'm gonna run as a 2028 presidential candidate. You be my running mate. You be my VP. If you will not be my VP, then I am 100% running against you. We need to. So I'm letting Vance know I am gunning at 2028. And if I'm Rubio, I go, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ride my foreign policy wave. Rubio's liked in politics, and he's like an establishment Republican, so he knows how to work the angles. Latinos right now love Marco Rubio. So by Marco Rubio running, you might be able to pull up that Latino support that you did lose with the ICE raids. And if you could do the Cuba liberation, you got more momentum. So if I'm Rubio, I'm going up to Vance. I'm running 2028. Either you're my running mate or you're my opponent. What is it? And I'm putting the 100 pressure on Vance. Like, no, I'm going in 2020. I'm not sitting back and playing second fiddle to you.
I think if you put them together, if you put them together, I think that'll be great.
That's
now,
what
if they match up against each other.
But then it's up to Vance, bro. Does he want to play second? Like, am I okay writing VP again? See, the thing Vance is in a tough position. He's like, wait a minute, I'm number 2 now. So the only, it's to go up. So it's
Who would you vote for?
I like Rubio.
I mean, in between them two.
Oh, I like Rubio way over Vance. I like Rubio over Vance. What is interesting though right now, JR, is there's a lot of new reporting. Is that this is what I find interesting is Trump is using JD right now as his closer on these deals. So he's sending JD and Witkoff to Pakistan, and they're trying to close these Iran deals. So he's relying a lot on JD, which I think is good. There was some reporting from 3 or 4 days ago that came out, and I think JD leaked this. I think JD leaked this to the press. He was one of the only ones in the Situation Room to be like, I do not think we should strike Iran. So I think JD's still very anti-war, but obviously he's under Trump administration, so he's going to support the president. I like Rubio over JD, but let me throw in another X factor. This is gonna F up everything too. You think DeSantis is just gonna sit back and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna run this one time." No. DeSantis, bro, is gunning it. Is gonna go again, because DeSantis is different. He doesn't come from a MAGA camp, so he's able to pull in a different support. So I think DeSantis is gonna run again. So I think we'll potentially see a JD versus DeSantis, and then maybe Rubio says, "You know what? I served obviously with JD. We're from the administration. I'll be JD's VP." And then Rubio goes, "I don't mind playing second fiddle because next round I'll be the guy." But I'm telling the voters right now, DeSantis is 100% going to run again. He's 100%.
And who's going to run for the Democrats?
Well, for sure it's going to be Newsom. I think we're going to also, I don't think he has a lot of wave, but we're going to see J.D. Pritzker of Illinois. He's kind of gunning. We're also going to see Josh, forgetting the last name, governor of Pennsylvania, because he was kind of gunning for that VP under Biden, but then Biden went with Kamala. But I think that 2 is going to be Newsom and J.B. Pritzker. What's going to be interesting is, do we see AOC say, maybe I could run a populist message against the more establishment Newsom? We'll have to wait and see. The thing that I want to warn everyone for Newsom, he doesn't have a great story to sell. Obviously, he has a lot of cracks. Homeless. There's gonna be a lot of cracks.
You are wrong.
Yeah. So he does. Yeah. So Newsom is gonna get cracked because he doesn't have a great story to sell. Especially California
What do you
being
mean?
so
He grew
broke.
up in the struggle.
But
I'm fucking. What do you say? Eating cereal and shit like this.
But the thing, bro, with Newsom, especially with California, is he has such a stronghold on the unions and the PACs. So he has hundreds of millions of dollars ready to go at this presidency. The other thing, bro, is Newsom win against Trump on that whole the whole 50 states and the whole maps and the delegation.
Oh,
So
Prop 50?
Prop 50. So when Newsom did Prop 50, I actually had to go cover his visit to LA when he did this. When he did Prop 50, the thing is, it opened up donations nationally. So Newsom not only did he take donations nationally for Prop 50, but for his campaign, it opened up a donor base that they never had before. He already had a crazy donor base just in the Golden State. Prop 50 gave him that national support. So just be ready that Newsom has hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank for 2028. And money does matter in politics. Money doesn't matter.
The only thing that makes me feel a little bit comfortable is that he ran California to the ground.
Yes.
So that track record is like.
But we need to start we need to be hitting Newsom right now. Especially also, bro, Karen Bass. LA's a disaster. That's another important run we got.
Who, Karen Basura?
Karen Basura, that's a new nickname. I like that Spencer Pratt is really doing the thing.
He's doing it.
Well, I wanted to ask you, bro, as a business guy. Ooh. I'm sorry. As a business guy, though, who do you like more, bro? If I could put the pressure. Hilton or Bianco, or it's still early. It is early.
I'm leaning towards Bianco because, I had him and I think he seemed like a stand-up guy.
Okay, yeah.
Riverside
County Sheriff.
And he's a sheriff, so...
I've interviewed Bianco once before, bro,
Yeah.
on the issue of illegal marijuana. And I do want to say, just from that perspective, Bianco was always very aggressive in taking down those operations. So he's always
Which is important.
Which is important, yeah. So he was always cracking down in Riverside
So I
County.
think,
yeah.
from the law enforcement side, like, we need, like, all this chaos that's been happening, the what is it called? Smash and grabs. Yeah, the smash and grabs and how fucking crime is out of control. I think I'm leaning more towards Bianco, but that guy, Steve,
he's building momentum.
He got that
endorsement.
That Trump endorsement.
Which actually, in a weird way, might be the nail in coffin in California. Like that endorsement might help Bianco.
I think it might I don't think it's gonna work towards him the way he thinks it's gonna work for him,
As someone from SoCal, just anyone that could just clean up LA, like I think it breaks my heart seeing the streets. We have the Olympics coming in the World Cup, and it's like embarrassing that we're welcoming the world here. You probably know her social media, bro. Wake Up with Linda from Florida. She's like a Republican content creator.
I think I follow her.
So she just came down last week, right? So she's coming down from Miami, and
and you took her there?
We took her to downtown LA to have her at the podcast studio to do a Twitch stream. She was like, yeah. downtown LA, bro. Like if you're not, the thing is like when you're from here, you get so normalized.
Dude,
But
have you
when you're
been
from
to
not-
the other states and their downtowns?
Oh my,
Beautiful.
beautiful, dude.
Texas. I mean, San Antonio.
Anywhere, bro. Anywhere.
Beautiful.
Phoenix.
Anywhere. And then you come to this shithole.
Dude.
And it was worse before LA Live. It was way worse. Now it's like okay, but it's not okay, brother. Like,
Bro, we got I joke with my friends, but like, we got the NFL of homeless in LA, bro. We got like the pros. Like motherfuckers are setting up shacks, got TVs in their thing. Like the RV thing is a big thing. Dude,
I seen somebody set up a tent.
Yeah.
And I was driving by
watching the Laker game.
and this fool's on Firestone, bro.
I know.
With a tent. Laying down on a pillow with his phone.
Yeah.
Scrolling.
You gotta laugh because it sounds stupid.
But they're gonna give me a ticket
yeah.
if I park in red. We're gonna tolerate all this other shit.
Hey, Jar, it is
But
funny.
just don't park in
It
red.
is funny traveling, bro, because when you travel, you go through these other cities. I'm always like, man, you guys just think this is great. And like, obviously the locals are like, no, we have a big homeless problem. I'm like, no. You haven't seen shit. I'm like, I still love Cali. It's 70 degrees every day. Like it's beautiful. You know, you might get
Motherfuckers just way too comfortable. Excuse my language. I'm just saying, like, they way too comfortable. They're making it way too easy to just be like, fuck it. We're just gonna set up shop here and we're gonna just piss everywhere, shit everywhere. I'm not being unsensitive. I think some people need help. But where's all this money that is supposed to go for that help? So do you think we have a homeless problem or we have a politician
think about
problem?
it, man. If you're making like $200K and all you got to do is open up your laptop, fire off a few emails. Are you really motivated to get people off the street? You know, you're really motivated. You know,
That's what I'm saying. Do we have a homeless problem, or
Homeless
do we
industrial
have
complex problem,
or do we have a politician
Yeah.
problem? Which I think.
also, if you're not from SoCal, you already know that homeless issues back. It's all over the news, duh. But what makes our issue, particularly in LA County, way different than like not only the rest of the country but the rest of the world, is we let the RV thing explode here. So there'll be streets. It is back to back to back to back. All the homeless RVs, and then gangs are selling drugs into the
Just
RVs.
how do we not
and
enforce that?
It's so
Like
sad,
how does Karen
basura, man.
and how does Karen Basura and Mr. Gavin just not enforce certain rules? Like, okay, like this is not cool. Like, but then again, homelessness in downtown, it's been like that since we were growing up. It's always. I mean,
Dude, downtown is
it's not
dead,
that bad.
though. I was talking to a buddy because I've been traveling the country, obviously reporting the news, and I'm going to cities, and you could tell when you're in a city, bro, and you're like, this is where the energy is. This is where like the movers are coming, business guys, like movers and shakers. LA was always like that because not only did we have the business, we had real estate, we had then the entertainment, Hollywood fact, like the action, everything was alive. I told my buddy the last golden year, maybe you might think different, bro. The last golden year of LA for me, 2016, and then it died. And then 2020.
Well,
killed
I think just 2020 killed it. I think 2020 did a lot more than what people think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it just kind
Downtown
of
LA is a ghost town. Those businesses, yeah.
like it's just dead. Look at the big skyrise that's all tagged up.
Oh man,
Come on, like what happened? Like I feel like it's like fucking just zombies walking around. Like this is kind of crazy.
and it breaks my heart, bro. Because this is home. This is us. You know, everyone, bro, right now is like, oh, I'm moving to Texas, brother. I'm going to Florida, and like, I'm like,
Nah, I can't leave.
I can't leave.
I can't leave.
I can't just
we gotta try to change it.
yeah, like
You know, we could try, but these greedy politicians gonna make it very difficult.
it's like I don't know. I was talking to a buddy. It's like the politicians, bro, are like the New England Patriots with Tom Brady. Like they're gonna win the Super Bowl every year, but can we at least make them try, bro? Can we at least make them work for it? Like let's not just give it to them. Let's put up a little fight.
That's a
Let's do a little,
great analogy.
You know, bro. Like they're gonna win. I mean, they have the money. They got Tom Brady in the prime, but we got a few scrappy guys, bro. Can we at least we make them work for it?
That's what we're here for.
Can we keep it close to the fourth, bro? Anything
Let's
can happen
make
in the
it
fourth.
difficult. Make it a fucking buzzer beater. I mean, it's still my win.
So Spencer Pratt, make it close in the fourth with Karen, is what we're trying to say here, because That whole dude, it's insane. Yeah, the whole establishment Democrats. It breaks my heart as a Cali guy, guys, because it's like we grew up here. This place gave my parents a second chance. Fucking immigrants from El Salvador escaping a civil war, bro. It's crazy. Me and my dad talk about this. My dad was 25, 26 years old, fourth grade education, immigrant from El Salvador, escaping the civil war as a soldier, but on one trucking income. We had a beautiful middle-class life in Downey, California. My mom could stay home with the 3 kids. We weren't rich, but we weren't like poor. And we could go on a vacation every summer. And like that was our beautiful middle-class California life. That was like golden Cali. And your neighbors, everything too. Like all your neighbors, same thing. Your dad had one income. The mom could stay home. Everyone was happy.
Shit.
Now, bro, a California home is... The mom is working a job. The dad is doing 2 jobs.
Now
the kids are hustling.
It's a mandatory 2-income household.
Yeah. And the family structure destroyed. Like, I don't know. It just breaks my heart as like someone who like, I don't know. My heart is still here. I travel the country, guys. I've been all over. My heart is still in Cali. Like, I just can't. It's just here, bro. And I just want to fight for what I could do, you know.
I don't think Karen Bass is going to get reelected.
I think she's taking a big L. She's going to take a big L. People are not excited for her. No, I love that Pratt is hitting on the whole, you let the city burn while you were in Ghana. People, let's not forget that. It's one thing she let the city burn.
Do you think that recording is not AI? When she's like, "Oh, you're gonna find out what's gonna happen in the next few days."
I haven't even heard that. Is it
or something like that? Right? It was. She was like, "Just wait."
Oh, I hope it. All I'm saying is they got.
Then insurance companies left.
Yeah. In the LA Times, bro, they're if you notice the corporate media in LA, they're now trying to go against Pratt. So a reporter did this investigative piece. Spencer Pratt is living in Santa Barbara County. His house burned down, dog. Like, listen, Spencer Pratt's gonna live with his beautiful white kids in Skid Row.
Spencer Pratt. I think Spencer Pratt is probably the best person to run. You know why? He went through this shit.
He went through it, bro. I don't care if he's not politically savvy. I don't give a fuck.
It doesn't matter. Like, this guy went through the bullshit. His house burnt out. He's seen what the fuck is happening.
And all his friends and neighbors too, bro. He's seen all his friends lose everything. His neighbors lose everything. That's why. Like, at least
crazy.
He has a chip on his shoulder.
I think he has a good shot.
Boom.
And I think he's earned it.
Let's get Pratt on the JR, bro.
Oh, hey, let's do it, man.
There is a small group forming up. I think they're gonna get bigger, but there is now, bro, a Latinos for Pratt group forming up. They're the ones, bro, that put that ad, that Spanish ad where Pratt is like dancing and Karen is like letting the city burn. So there's some energy there, and you know we'll see if this hits. You find it interesting though, Jared, that now Newsom's talking about hospice fraud in Cali when like Shirley started kind of breaking the news on it.
I made a video about it.
Oh, you did?
Went viral too.
yeah. CBS is reporting on it too. Like now Newsom's like trying to crack down on the fraud.
Now. At the beginning, he was trying to fucking cancel this guy and do like, dog. Like, if somebody's bringing this to your attention as the governor, hey, look, this is what I've discovered. These are my findings. Could we, work on something together and crack down on it even more? Dude, well, your first response is to be like, trying to cancel this kid and trying to go against the grain. And I'm like, if I was governor, somebody would be like, hey, all this is happening. Maybe we should look into it.
For me, bro, right? I started becoming the thorn on Newsom's side, because you guys have to remember, I started off on national reporting right away. So I was doing riots, I was doing the COVID stuff. I was not technically hitting the governor, bro. But when I started reporting on the business shutdown is when we started to hit the governor hard. This was interesting, JR. It was the night before Fox 11 breaks the story on Newsom eating at the French Laundry. Bill Mallusion. I don't even know if I should say it, but I'm gonna just say it because I'm on your podcast. I like you, bro. So
say
so Bill, so the night before, bro, Bill Mallusion is the same reporter, bro, that I text when I got the gun pointed at Yuma. So he's the guy I text, and he advised me just post it. So Bill, bro, is a great reporter, guys. He was at Fox 11 at the time, so he was doing a lot of good corruption stories on California politicians. Bill hits me up. He goes, "Hey, I got these photos on Newsom. You're not gonna believe them." He sends me the photos, bro. So I get to see, I don't know how many people he sent them to. So I get to see, bro, before the public does, of Newsom eating in the French Laundry. Not only that, those photos were even worse than the public saw, bro, because they had photos of Newsom hitting the wine bottle, like looking like a college kid, getting belligerent drunk. But Fox 11 said, don't post those ones because we still need a close relationship with the governor. So you can still post him and expose that he ate the French Laundry, but we don't want the ones where he's belligerent drunk. So Bill tells me that. And the next day, bro, those photos come out. And boom, what we don't know at that time is that's what started the Recall Newsom campaign. Those photos generated this hate from Newsom across Cali that we never seen, bro. And then I remember, bro, I was interviewing a lady in Lancaster, California, who was working in the banks her whole life, saved up all her money, started up her own nail salon. And I'm interviewing her, and she's crying. She's like, "How come the governor gets to eat in these restaurants and stuff, and I'm losing everything?" And it's moments like that, bro, that like I think a lot of Californians like, don't forget that, guys. Don't forget that Newsom did that. Like, not only did he shut it down, he then did the French Laundry scandal. That's not even the cherry on top, bro. The cherry on top, the people he was eating with was PG&E executives. PG&E, he struck a deal so when all those residents in like Paradise Valley in California, when they lost their homes, PG&E didn't have to give those people a dime because Newsom struck a deal with them. And then a year or two later, he's doing the French Laundry thing. Like I want you cannot forget that. Like, don't forget that. Don't let that moment go.
He single-handedly shut down every single business in California.
And put restaurants on takeout only, which is fucking insane.
And
not even New York did that, I think.
Took all the landlords' rights away.
Oh my God, it's another one.
Okay, well now
that's a big one, yeah.
Now you're digging on why I dislike this guy.
Fuck. So personal.
They took our rights away from every single. So he said, "Hey, you renter,
dude, this is
don't
crazy.
pay.
Yeah, I forgot.
You're good. This. You landlord, you fucked. You gotta pay property taxes. You gotta pay utilities. You gotta pay this, and we're gonna increase your 2% per year. And you have to pay everything, and you have to make sure that this person is okay."
Bro, I totally forgot about that too.
This person doesn't have to pay you. Figure it out.
Dude,
tell me what part of that is legal.
JR, how did you make it during that time? I have to ask you.
A lot of prayers.
I got
a lot of prayers. People don't know what we went through as like, and then Univision comes. Univision comes out and says, "No tiene que pagar renta. No paguen renta."
Crazy. Was there a moment, bro? Did it feel like you were gonna lose everything?
I had a plan. I'm like, all right, like, how do we do it? Like, if I do this, if I X these two out, and then boom, and then I could get it was like a real. I fucking dislike that guy, bro.
So my dad, bro,
I fucking don't like him.
My dad, because he's a trucker, but he had a property out in like East Palmdale area. And like, my dad's not balling, guys, working class, barely, we're getting through. But he had a little property that he has as a rental. Then that came down.
Yeah.
Bro, my mom is a very, very sweet Salvadorian lady, doesn't want to harm anyone. I think 8 months in, bro, my mom was like, "Do we need to set that home on fire, dog?" She saw, bro, that how in the red my dad was getting, bro. And my dad, I think, was going to have a heart attack at any moment, bro, because he's now in red. Yes. He has to still pay bills. My dad's not a rich guy. Like, he can't. And these people were taking advantage of my dad, bro. And I could think it was just killing my mom. And I could see my dad, bro, was stressing him. So I think I don't know what happened, bro, but my dad went to court and pleaded to like a LA County judge. And I think the judge was like, "Okay, this guy's like a hardworking middle class." So the judge was like, "Okay, we're gonna rule over the state or something." Bro was like, "You're gonna evict those people, and I'm sending LA County sheriff with you." My dad, bro, went to that home with the biggest smile on his face with an LA County sheriff. Was like, "Get the fuck out!" And it was a bunch of people, bro, doing a whole bunch of sketchy stuff, running drugs in and out. And the guy, bro, the grown man, had the audacity to go to my dad and be like, "I can't believe you're kicking me off to the street. Like, you're gonna kick me off in my kid?" My dad was like, "You think I give a get out of here?"
That's just
But dude, my dad was gonna die, dog, like with high blood pressure because he was going in the reds.
I know people that had a heart attack.
Oh man.
Like the whole building stopped paying. They all got together.
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck.
And you're just going in the red, bro. Every month, and you're sinking, and you're sinking. And these guys are living.
And then this motherfucker's eating, having the time of his life with PG&E after they fucking,
the PG&E.
oh, fucking, happy hour. Son of a.
This sounds like a movie, bro. Like, like if you explain this movie plot, people would be like, oh, well, why don't you just vote him out? We'll be like, yeah. Well, about that.
Yeah. Well, we tried and it didn't work. All right. I seen that you posted that you were in Mexico.
Yep.
And I
got some
still
good stuff
can't
for you
understand.
here. I got some good stuff for you here.
Like missing people in Mexico. And you reported on this particular one where I think she was searching for her
brother.
And then she ended up getting murdered.
Yes.
Could you touch on that?
Yeah. So just for some context for people, right now Mexico, it kind of goes underreported here on the American side, and then on the Mexican side, it's been normalized, so it's not always in the news. They have what we call as a missing persons crisis, meaning that right now there's at least 130,000 missing people in Mexico that either been disappeared or kidnapped by Mexican cartels. And these missing people cases have a 90% immunity, meaning like if you kidnap someone, you're probably never going to find them, and that person's never going to get arrested. Crime's never going to get solved. So the Mexican law enforcement doesn't assist on any of these investigations. So what happens is, over time, this is just some context to the story so people kind of understand where I'm going here, is what the cartel does in certain areas of Mexico, bro, is they kidnap young women and then force those young women into sex trafficking and then into sex slavery, like basically in the sex market underworld. The young men, there's certain cartels where they'll kidnap young boys, and some of those cartels will use the young boys, like they'll train them to be drug mules or drug runners, what they call them, just mules especially like on the Tijuana border. When they kidnap a Mexican boy, they're using them to run drugs at the border. Deeper in Mexico, once you get to Sinaloa and Jalisco, this is where things get dark, is the boys that they kidnap, they train them to be hitmen. But when you kidnap, bro, a regular human, like there's a process that they go through to desensitize them so then they could start committing homicides for the cartel. It's very brutal. It's the different tactics. Some of them, bro, they'll have these young boys murder their own friend with a knife. So cut them up, butcher them up, decapitate the body. So like that, you get used to killing someone, not having a feeling, not having a human connection. A lot of Santa Muerte, that religion, that cartel religion's tied to that demonic stuff. Some of them, bro, they require not only to do that, but then the cannibalism, so you eat a human, and all this stuff, bro, starts to desensitize. It's very dark. Now, in Jalisco, they found, bro, that there was this grave. They had like a ranch where they trained these boys. And then the boys who didn't follow through or failed the training, they would murder them. So what they did is they would kidnap 10 boys, and out of the 10, 8 would be murdered by the cartel. So only 2 of them were making it as hitmen. So in TJ, it's the same system, but they're using the boys as drug runners. So what happens, bro, is these parents are getting their kids kidnapped or disappeared by cartels. The Mexican government or authorities are not helping them. So these parents essentially, bro, start up their own search groups, like literally shovels, anything to get tools. And they go out to these clandestine graves or clandestine rural areas, and they begin to search themselves for their missing loved ones. So this has become a thing in Mexico where these groups started to form, and it started to happen, bro, where many of these parents started to find their own kids' remains, started finding bones, started to make cracks in the cases. And these groups started getting bigger. And then this also became an issue for the cartel, because the cartel doesn't want these cases to be solved. They don't want the bodies to be solved. They don't want remains to be solved, to be discovered. So the cartel, bro, started killing parents searching for their loved ones. I mean, this is dark. I mean, this is as brutal as it could get, to the point where some of these parent search groups are required, bro, to have military assistance on these searches, because they'll literally be they'll be killed for searching for their own kids. So this particular story. There's a young woman out of Mexico, out of Guanajuato, who is part of these search groups. She's part of these search groups because her own brother was kidnapped by cartels. Last year in March, she discovered her brother's remains and got him properly identified to confirm that it was her brother. So could you imagine, bro, a loved one of yours, son, daughter, I don't want to bring this up, but it's just this is the reality of what people face. They get kidnapped and you know that they've been brutally murdered and you can't find their body to have that peace, to have that funeral. And then that feeling of not knowing. So then you're like, you know what, if the military's not going to help me out, if my sheriff is not going to help me out, if I'm going to do it myself, which to me is like, I can't even comprehend that. Wow. So through my sources, bro, over the years of working through Mexico, I got connected with a parent search group. Particularly with this girl, but what's sad is she found her brother's remains last year in March. This year in March 14th, literally like just recently, she was kidnapped by armed men from her home. And they brutally murdered her, and her body was just discovered March 31st, and they confirmed her ID. And I just got this confirmed with my sources. So this once again shows you that world where like, even the people that are just looking for that peace for the loved ones, the cartel will still go after you and brutally murder you. Now, with my sources in Mexico, I got connected with a father. His name is Eddie Carrillo. And Eddie Carrillo started up his own search group, like the Eddie Carrillo Foundation. His own son, Eddie, who's actually, this is the other twist, is an American citizen. He was born in Monterey, California. Eddie's son came to Tijuana to visit his son, gets kidnapped by the cartel. And then Eddie starts his search group. Eddie goes years searching for his son. I think it was like 3 years ago. He discovered his son's remains in a clandestine grave where they found like 20 other bodies.
He was American, though.
He was an American. That's what, and that's one thing I'm trying to highlight in my reporting is these are Americans. Of course, they're Mexican too, but they're American, U.S. born. They'll go visit family members, and then the cartel will kidnap them. So Eric's son Eddie's son got kidnapped, and then he discovered his own son's remains. When people made fun of him, bro, I was with them. People were like, "You're never gonna find your son. You got like a 1% chance." And he found his son's remains, bro, and was able to have that moment of closure. And then, so just recently, bro, like literally like a month ago, I go embedded. We go in a very dangerous area of Baja California, an area where cartel had already been burying bodies. They found 4 bodies in the past 2 months there, so that's the area we go to. As I go on this reporting trip, bro, I find out, hey, the Mexican military that was supposed to escort us denied it. So we're going to be out there, literally, like, we're free game for the cartel. Anyone could roll up, either do a kidnapping, light us up. So they're like, you want to go? I'm like, let's go. So
we still went?
We still went, bro. Went, cameras rolling, and it's, to me, bro, it's just an insane image. Like once again, bro, I always like love just to be a storyteller, a wall, like a wallflower, but like just seeing how these parents, bro, knowing that their son or daughter, like even if they make a discovery that day, you're discovering them in bones now. And them getting their shovels, and then them going through the train. Hey, when you dig like this, twist it like this, because when you twist it like this, the odor of a dead body arises, and all these little things. And I'm like, this is insane. And then I follow like few of the parents, and like all their stories are heartbreaking. All of them have either a daughter or son kidnapped. I remember one mom was just like, she's like the cartel has already killed my son. They've already won. Why can't you just give me the body and I could have a funeral and this could be done? And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man. As an American, you're just like, holy smokes, man. And then in that moment, as a reporter, the only thing that brought me back to that, bro, was when I was in Kerrville, Texas. This was just last year. I was in Kerrville, Texas, and I was a first national reporter. People forgot the story already. When that flooding hit, and over 120 kids died, and over 160 people died in that flooding. I remember, bro, that happened on July 4th.
Was that the church group that was up in the? No, I think that's probably a different one.
So July 4th, bro, this massive flooding hit, kills a bunch of people in Kerrville. Over 160 people die. The next day, bro, I go to Kerrville, and this, like I said, the only scene that reminds me of the moment with the Mexican parents is we're in Kerrville. And I'm interviewing a neighbor, and as I'm interviewing a neighbor, there's like a Hispanic guy going through the dishes with this shovel, and so I asked the neighbor, I'm like, what is that guy doing? He says, oh, that's Gustavo. Gustavo's like his brother and his whole family got swept in the home, so Gustavo was looking for his like 3-year-old niece. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, oh yeah, like the home got swept. Like Gustavo knows he's gonna find the niece dead. But because authorities are so stretched thin on finding bodies, he can't rely on authorities to find the niece. So he's out there right now. One guy, bro, with a shovel, going through the disaster that was left of Kerrville. I mean, think about Hurricane Katrina hitting a small Texas town. That's what this flooding was. And I'm looking at this Hispanic dude, bro, going through like the dirt and like all the ravage, knowing he was gonna find his 3-year-old niece deceased, drowned, like brutal. And in that moment, bro, I was like, that's a type of love that I don't even understand like yet. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a type of love that like, it's easy to be like, I love my wife, I love my daughter, I love my son, I love my family, I love my mom and dad. Do you love your mom and dad? If that's something happened, do you pick up a shovel? Do you have the balls to go out in the dirt by yourself and look for your mom and dad, and so you could bring peace to your family? Do you love someone that much? That's different. That's different, bro. And I remember when I was in Mexico, I got that feeling again. I'm like, this reminds me of Kerrville, and I'm like, shovel by themselves, no authorities, knowing that you're not finding your loved one, bro, alive, or finding them. You're gonna find them at the most. It's the most brutal. It literally remains like bones. That to me, bro, was like, that's a different love that I don't know if I'm there. I don't know. I'm hoping I got that. I'm hoping that if that happened to me, I'm hoping my brother got that. But the thing, real quick, JR, I want to finish this. I left that day, bro, and normally what I do is I'll shoot a story. We'll edit. We put it together. I left that day like, no. We can't just shoot it like this. I gotta shoot this like a movie documentary. So I gotta bring another cameraman, and we gotta come back like 20 more times and like really do a due diligence and like shoot this correctly and spend time with the parents and find out about their loved ones, like, and do a proper story. And then when we show the American audience, they're just gonna be like, what the fuck? And the reason why I'm hitting so hard on this story really quick, when you see reporting on cartels, you always see human smuggling, fentanyl, all this stuff, and that's important. Like gun trafficking, it's important. All that does not matter. You could take out El Mencho, El Chapo. Right now, Trump's doing the whole, we could possibly bomb them with CIA. You could declare them Sinaloa cartel. You could declare them foreign terrorist organization. You could do all that. But if you don't crack down on the disappearing people pipeline, you don't stop the army. You don't stop the flow. You could take down El Mencho. You could take down El Chapo. You could take down El Chapo's sons. You could do that all day. You could go after China and fend up. You could do it all day. You could deploy the U.S. military on the ground. We could have some sexy headlines where they blow up a Sinaloa camp. But if you don't stop the missing, disappearing pipeline, then it doesn't even matter. Because if you're the cartel, you lose 30 guys in a gunfight, you just go back to your own neighborhood and you kidnap 30 boys. And you do some sick, twisted shit where they get trained and mentally ready to be a cartel soldier. Like if you don't stop that pipeline, it does not matter. It literally... And it destroys the social fabric of a community. Really quick, bro. I was in Tijuana. I was in migrant shelters in Tijuana interviewing Mexicans. In migrant shelters. I'm supposed to be running into Haitians. I'm supposed to be talking to a Nicaraguan, a Venezuelan. I'm interviewing Mexicans, and Mexicans are turning into immigrants in their own country. And when I interview these Mexicans, why are you in a shelter next to this Haitian? Oh, because my ranch in Jalisco has been taken over. My ranch in Sinaloa has been taken over. My little community in Guanajuato has been taken over. Like, that's the thing, bro. So like Rubio and Trump, they could do the press, which I think they are. This is the most. You're never gonna get an administration from the U.S. side this aggressive on cartels. You're never gonna get it again. They're cornering Sheinbaum like no other presidencies ever. But it doesn't mean anything, bro, if you don't get to that pipeline. End of story on that.
Okay, but what is Sheinbaum doing?
Nothing, bro. Nothing. Right now, Sheinbaum, all she's doing is touting homicides are lower, but the missing persons has only exploded. And then she'll turn over cartel operatives because that's what she's doing. She's being pressured to turn in cartel operatives. They got pressure to get El Mencho. You think Mexico wanted to do that? No, they got CIA was like, if you don't go in there, we'll go in there. And I think this is what I think, bro. This is a conspiracy thought. I think the U.S. said, go get El Mencho, or we'll do it. We'll put U.S. troops on the ground. Sheinbaum can, for presidency, can't have American troops on the ground because that just looks really bad for a Mexican president to allow another country. But I think Americans said, go get El Mencho and turn him over, or we're putting troops on the ground. Sheinbaum, I think, conspiracy, I don't know this for sure as a reporter, conspiracy brain, tells the Mexican military, you go get El Mencho, but you don't bring him back alive. You don't turn him over. You do not turn him over. And I think
Well, they
had him-
captured him alive, and he died.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's right. That's the. So I think she.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So there's a lot of good shit, man.
I don't know. That guy he knew too much.
He knew too much, bro. Too much ties with Mexican politicians.
All that. But I just don't understand how she goes. Like, how do we stop this in Mexico, brother? This is just
It's sad,
serious.
bro.
Like, this is sad what people have to go through, and we're really privileged. So, what I'm saying is coming from a place of privilege, how good we have it here. But it's like, God, man, like, how do you stop all this corruption?
Mexico could be a superpower, bro. I mean, they could really be up there.
Why not?
I mean, they have they have literally a narco country. I mean, they have a country that's run on the basis of organized. Bro, even on the Sheinbaum's election, all those like local politicians that ran up, that all got murdered.
I said that before. I'm like, you don't need. It was a bloodbath.
Bloodbath, bro.
That's not covered. That got her elected, right?
So I don't know how it stops. I remember like 3 years ago, I was asked on a podcast. They're like, Jorge, do you think U.S. military troops will be on the ground in Mexico? And I like laughed it off. I was like, haha, no, never. Like now, I'm the opposite. I think it's before this Trump 2.0 ends it, bro, in some capacity, and I don't know how it will look like, you will see some type of U.S. military presence like on the ground taking on cartels. I don't know if that looks like the G.I. Joe off of AC-130. I don't know if that's CIA and just drone warfare. But the CIA is already flying drones over Mexico. U.S. military and the intelligence is already in there. So I think
They know where everybody's at.
they know where everyone's at. They got El Mencho, bro, because his girlfriend. So they tracked her location, and CIA gave that to the to the Mexican military. And be like, that's the guy. Give him us alive. They're like, yeah, we'll give him alive. Yeah, we'll shoot. We'll shoot him in the leg. And then they turn him over.
México no tenemos terroristas. Los narcos no son terroristas.
And I'm my parents are from El Salvador, bro, from a country that was worse than Mexico. Homicide
gives
rate
me hope.
worse than Mexico. And
Bukele gives us hope.
Bukele turned it around.
Like, how do your parents feel about that?
Oh, dude.
Do you walk into your mom's house and you see a Bukele statue?
Dude. What would be a good episode would be like JR monitoring it and be like my dad, Bukele guy, and like a white liberal, and just letting this white liberal tell my dad why Bukele is such a bad guy. So what's interesting, bro, is my parents leave El Salvador at like the worst time. Civil War, very brutal. If you're listening to this, you should Google it. I think El Salvador, out of all the civil wars, had like the most teenage soldiers ever. My dad was forced to be a teenage soldier. My mom grew up as like in the farm, but with the country at war. So my mom, bro, has crazy stories, seeing people's heads blown up, all types of stuff. My dad was a teenage soldier. They come to the United States during Civil War era time. The thing is, though, bro, the Civil War ends, and then the United States starts supporting MS-13. MS-13 never started. I don't know if people know this. Huge misconception, but MS-13 was never a thing in El Salvador. We don't even know what that is. So the thing is, El Salvador was dealing with a brutal civil war. And then Ronald Reagan comes in and says, "We'll have amnesty for Salvadoran nationals." Also, Reagan is involved. Let's not forget. He deploys U.S. military and starts arming the right wing side of El Salvador, going against the left wing, because he thought communism was coming into El Salvador. He didn't want a Soviet Union ally in Central America. So Reagan gets involved. My dad's on the right side. So my dad's fighting on the side that's getting funded by Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan then opens up amnesty. A bunch of Salvadorans start coming to the United States. Also, which is kind of random, a bunch of Australia opened up amnesty. And I have some family, bro, that went to Australia. So they speak English in Australian accent, but they speak Spanish like if they're from the hood in El Salvador, which is fucking weird, but that's another thing. So Salvadorans start coming to the United States in masses because of the war. What people don't know is the Salvadoran population started obviously building up big in LA. Mexicans and Mexican mafia started like going after Salvadoran nationals, like punking them, committing violence against them, extortion. That's when Salvadorans in LA were like, wait a minute, we need a protection against Mexican mafia. So MacArthur Park is the birthplace of MS-13. Mara Salvatrucha is now born in LA, in California. So then these guys are then running around committing, obviously, murders, homicides, getting into drug dealing, going against Mexican mafia. Then the United States starts deporting MS-13 gang members back to the homeland. But these guys in MS-13, these are kids, these are guys who were like, their mom and dad crossed into the United States when they were 2, escaping the war. They've never even stepped foot in they don't know El Salvador. They've never stepped foot in El Salvador. So you have gang members that have grown up with the LA lifestyle, dealing with American law enforcement, now getting dropped off in a third world country that's recovering from a war, saying, wait a minute, we thought we was running shit in MacArthur Park. There's no government here. There's no law enforcement here. Then MS-13 flourishes in El Salvador and becomes what we know it is now. And obviously that's the country that my dad knows. So during that time, bro, my mom and dad could visit El Salvador in like small periods. Very, very bad. Obviously Bukele comes in, fast forward. And like now, dude, my dad like loves it over there. He could vacation. It's a complete 180. The homicide rate, I think like right now, bro, we're like way safer in El Salvador than Detroit, than LA, than Skid Row. I think I'm
changed.
Yeah, I think we're way safer.
He posted a video of what it was before and what it is now.
Getting all the street vendors now. Yeah. So that's what. So like my dad, bro, you're speaking to it's interesting. You're speaking to an individual that saw his country in flames, thinking like I could never return. To now I'm being like, wait a minute, I could return here. I could retire. So what I'm trying to explain here is when a Salvadorian or anyone, bro, sees their country change in that fashion in a lifetime, they become 100% loyal to that individual no matter what that individual will now do. So Bukele, bro, has the loyalty of so many Salvadorans because of that one issue. So Bukele, and this is smart on his behalf, and I don't say I agree with everything. That's how then Bukele went to the Supreme Court and was like, hey, you know how in the Constitution it's supposed to be 1 time 6 years? About that. You know, the people rock with me. We got 90% approval. Let's flip a couple lines. Let's keep this thing going. I don't think anyone's going to say anything. So the guy's like, all right. And while technically, bro, like this is against the Constitution, this is kind of dictator stuff. When you got 90% rocking with you, they're like, we don't mind a dictator. But the thing is, people need to understand that, like, you know, my dad's went from a country where, like, people were getting their head chopped off for not paying an extortion to MS-13 to now it's like, we got white people wanting to come and stuff. My dad recently was like, dude, all these white people and Japanese people are, like, investing in the country. We got Bitcoin City. We got Surf City. It's interesting. Also, what you'll find interesting, bro, is these are so many boomer Salvadorians. And this is what my dad doesn't get. My dad in 2020 could vote for Biden, but then be like riding Bukele's coattails to the grave. And he doesn't get that politically they are the opposite, and politically they hate each other. Biden and Bukele's camp never got along in that Biden era. Biden would be like, hey, we need an extradition for this MS-13 guy. And Bukele's like, no, we're not sending him. If Trump does it, yeah, right away. So my dad, and I think there's a lot of boomer Salvies, they'll vote for Biden because Trump says mean things, and then that's what Telemundo says and Univision tells them. But they'll
vote for Bukele.
But then he'll vote for Bukele, and my dad will be like, yeah, F Telemundo, F Univision. I'm like, what? Yeah, so if you're Salvadorian, that's probably like a lot of our parents. I don't get it. It's like that, bro. It's super confusing.
But that's the propaganda machine right there.
Because what I try to tell my white friends, or not my white, but my American friends is, see, at least with English, bro, like everything is still swayed with a massive liberal bias, but at least there's a counter. You have a CNN, but you still have a Fox News that is very dominating for, you know, there's always a counter. You have a daily this, but then you have a Daily Wire. Like there's a counter. Spanish, there's no counter. It's just Telemundo and Univision. So the narrative is one, and there is no, you're not getting a counter.
Very true.
You know? Because if you watch Telemundo or Univision, bro, they're synonymous. I mean, they're telling you the same thing. They're hitting on the same stories. They're not. It's not like they're bitter rivals.
Oh, they're giving the same script.
It's the same
Here you
script,
go.
yeah.
Read that. Here you go.
So if you watch,
that.
it's the same thing, bro. It's like when you watch CNN to MSNBC, you're getting the same. Yeah, maybe MSNBC is a little bit more lefty, but you're not getting a counter where Fox obviously gives you that. Where in Spanish, bro, you do not have a counter. But so many Salvadorians, from what happened on the ground, they're like, oh, I don't care what Telemundo Univision say about Bukele, because I know on the ground it's a complete opposite. But they'll believe Univision and Telemundo on everything they say about Trump. It's like a weird dynamic.
It's called selective
bias or whatever, hearing, or I don't know.
Selective hearing. Like you only want to hear what you want to hear, and then everything else is like, oh, okay, no, pero no hablen de Bukele, va pues.
So right now, bro, if you pull up to my dad, bro, if you pull up to my dad right now in Palmdale, he's got a papoose on the right hand, got the Bukele cap on, and it's just like all about it, bro. It's like all about it, bro. Like he loved it too, bro. Like he was super hyped when like the Venezuelans started going to Sukkot, like getting deported to mega prison. He was super hyped about that. Like it's funny. And you know, El Salvador, bro, still lets Salvadorans in the United States vote in the national election. So when you have all these Salvadorans here, like, oh, Bukele all day,
Well, you changed the country, brother. Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And he talks shit to Shane Baum.
Oh, that's right.
He be roasting her.
Yeah. He's a great communicator, bro. Uses social media. That one clip of his thing went viral where like they did the shots over the plaza.
Yeah.
And how like a couple years ago, bro, just like, oh, street vendors. It looked very like third world. And now we look like...
somebody told me a few years back, don't ever go to El Salvador because you have tattoos. And now, I don't know. I'm starting to feel like... I'm starting to feel like I could go.
No, you'll be fine there, bro.
Yeah?
You'll be fine.
I love pupusas, bro.
A lot of investment, bro. A lot of real estate. You know, Surf City's going up right now, man. People from all over the world are coming.
When you start seeing white people over there,
once you start seeing the whites,
you're like, oh shit, these guys jumped.
Which was new for El Salvador, because like I said, number one people don't know El Salvador was number one homicide in the world. I mean, we were killing more people. I mean, they were killing more people than in Syria or Yemen or like, you know, I think more people were dying in El Salvador than the Ukraine war. So it was like that, bro. What is sad, bro, is that like Honduras has not changed. The one that's like even worse is Nicaragua. Nicaragua, bro, is full on commie. Like there's no freedom of press. So if I was there as a reporter and I did some critical reporting of the Ortega regime, I would be jailed. I think they just banned the Bible, bro. In Nicaragua, like Nicaragua was very bad shape. Like it's very
no wonder.
Ortega regime.
So I have this friend from what's it called, Nicaragua. And when Trump invaded Venezuela,
they were all about it.
He's like, man, I hope we're next.
Yeah.
He's like, it's a disaster over there.
It's so bad.
But I mean, I'm not from Nicaragua, so I wouldn't know. I'm not like boots on the ground like you guys, but it's like, it's bad.
Call me bad, bro.
Like he's like, how do you allow?
Yeah, they jail anyone, bro. They say anything, they'll just jail you, bro. So it's just like the fact that we have a country like that next to a flourishing El Salvador, bro. Nicaragua's another bad. And then, like I said, bro, in the legal immigration story, Nicaragua's a bad actor because they let all these individuals with no visas knowing they were going to come, you know? So Nicaragua's, the Ortega regime is not one that we like. I talked to a lot of Latinos in South Florida because they have a very different viewpoint than like us Latinos in Cali. Same thing, bro. When they saw that Venezuela invasion, they were like, giddy. Cubans in Nicaragua was like, oh, we got to be next. And what a South Florida Latino friend was explaining to me, he's like, Jorge, you don't get it, bro. He said, Latinos in Cali, we don't think like you guys when it comes to Trump because for us, we come from communism. So the fact that he even is in there to liberate, he's like, we're going to ride with this guy no matter what happens in Iran. He's like, gas could be like $12 a gallon. We're riding with this guy. This is our guy. He says, you know how many Venezuelans are going to name their kids Trompito y Trompero because of the Maduro operation? I was like, you are right. He's like, I'm telling you, if he does Cuba, it's over, bro. He's like, South Florida, they're going to party for 5 weeks. If they do Cuba, then South Florida also has a huge Nicaragua base, bro. So like, if they could get the Nicaragua Ortega out, which I think Cuba's next, I think, because Marco Rubio. Yeah. That's like a wet dream of his, you know. And I think Marco Rubio would love to have that under his belt before Trump 2.0 is over. So I think Cuba's on the horizon, bro. I don't know how it looks like. If that happens,
he's gonna be probably favorite.
Oh, I think so too. And those, like I said, bro, Cuba. Talk to Latinos in South Florida. They are more right wing than the white guy in Alabama. Like I'm telling you right now, and when that Venezuela operation went down, they were like, oh, it's done. This is the guy. He's like, gas can be $15, bro. I don't care what happens in Iran. That is the guy to the end.
What do you think is going to happen in Iran?
So I was asked, bro, 3 years from now, like what's up with Trump and things, how things are going to go. I might be in the minority. 3 years from now, I don't think we're out of Iran. I know. See, this is where people get. I know. I don't think we're out. This is a quagmire. Iran, no, this is the thing with Iran, bro. Iran doesn't need to win the war. They're not going to win the war. They just don't need to lose the war. They just need to outlast a lame duck Donald Trump presidency. They also know that the American public, more than ever, cannot stomach a war. Like right now, bro, more than ever, we grow sick, bro, when we read stories of like the American servicemen that are losing their lives in the Middle East, bro. Maybe not back in the day as much, but right now with social, like we were just in that era, bro. Americans can't stomach it. So I think we're still in the war. Obviously, we'll have a different president, but I don't see how this ends like quick. I don't see an off ramp. I studied, bro, the Middle East, Afghanistan, Iraq war to the T. And I highly recommend your audience, bro, to buy a book called Pentagon Papers. And there was all these documents that got released, bro, that all these reporters got. And it was all these documents. President Obama, generals, continue to have meetings throughout the war. And everything was the generals saying, we don't know what a clear victory in Middle East looks like. Bro, we were in the Middle East and generals were having meetings before Obama, and the generals were being like, what is the objective in the Middle East? What does it, like, we don't know what's an objective. We don't know what's the goal. What does the president want? And they were just making up objectives for Obama. So Obama would be like, okay, yeah, we're making progress. But even the generals were like, we don't know what's the goal. What's like, we're in a like complete quagmire. They went in for a regime change. Yeah, we changed the players. The regime's the same in Iran. And the other thing, bro, is like, yes, the people don't like the government there. But you know what they don't like? When like a Western country is bombing them. That you don't think, bro, like that turns people into extremists? Like, I love when people are like, oh, these people, they're chanting death to America. Dog, 5 years ago, we killed his brother. Like, I mean, so I don't see an off ramp, bro. Like, if someone could break it down to me, I'd be gladly, but I don't see the off ramp. And Iran's in it for the long game. Iran also is a country of 90 million people, bro. They're not Iraq. They're not Venezuela. And they got Russia backing them. China's backing them. Like, come on, man. This thing is like... Also, when Iran fired that missile or drone to Diego Garcia, that was like a 4,000... They just did that to talk shit. They did that to be like, yo, we could do that. So, I think this is a disaster. I believe the whole thing that, like, when they were like... Pete Hess said, we have total air supremacy. And then we're seeing our aircraft being shot down. I don't know, bro. It's not looking like, I don't know where the off ramp is. I know the news is going to keep telling us this. I know we're going to wake up. Oh, we got this ceasefire here. I don't know, man.
It's just an ongoing thing.
It's an ongoing thing. They're bombing Lebanon. Israel's blowing up. Like, Israel, the thing is, Israel's objectives is different from the United States. Israel is keep this going. Like, Israel wants the Syria method where it's like, U.S. just bombs Iran to smithereens, just keep bombing them, and we don't care what happens after. So I don't know where the off ramp is. I think politically, Trump is risking all his political capital on this thing. I think he's been compromised. I think something got to him where like, hey, let's leave Trump 2.0 with all this regional change. I think when he hit that Venezuela operation, it was such a high to Trump, bro. It must have been like what cocaine feels like to somebody. It must have been like that. I need that.
Has to be
something happened to like, because now, bro, like I'm telling you, like gas is expensive. Like all those little things. I don't know where the winning argument is. Like, does the average American believe that like their life was in danger from a guy named Muhammad in the middle? I don't know. I'm a news junkie, so like I don't qualify to answer that. I like to look at other things. Like I said, I'm looking at politics through my boomer lens of a working class person like my dad. And my dad doesn't know the shit that you and I are talking about. He doesn't know about drones and Kuwait and this guy got shot down and they rescued this guy and he doesn't know that shit. All he knows is diesel is killing him and it's killing truckers like my dad. And I think it's gonna slowly trickle effect, bro. So I don't know.
I always think like, man, there has to be the end goal. Like there has to be some logistics behind everything that's happening now that I don't know about. I would want to think that like they got it figured out.
The other thing, bro, is
but now it's like,
Trump knows
do
something
they?
about China that we don't. Like
exactly.
That's the other thing with Venezuela.
There has to be some logistics. There has to be something there
that we don't know.
Because this guy is like, he seems pretty confident.
Because the other thing with Venezuela, bro, is China was getting involved in Venezuela. So that's why you wanted an aggressive approach there. maybe Trump already knew, bro. He's like, hey, we go get Venezuela, we get that oil now. We're gonna piss off Beijing because we got this Iran operation that we're for sure launching. We're gonna need that oil in this war. I don't know the dynamics, but it's super. I mean, it's just there's other things at play, bro. Like people forget, like then you got the Russia-Ukraine war still going on. Russia's low-key aiding Iran. How does that play out? China's like, Beijing is very cozy with Iran. How does that play out? How does this is the other thing too, bro. Is like all these people are being displaced. You think they're gonna be displaced? They're gonna go to another Middle Eastern country. They're gonna come here, bro. They're gonna make their way to Mexico and eventually the United States. And if you don't believe me, Google the largest Iranian embassy in the world and guess the country that it happens to be in, even though it's a country that they have almost no trade with, Mexico. The largest Iranian embassy right now is in Mexico City. You think all those Iranian nationals, they're going to get issued permanent residencies in Mexico. They're going to get issued visas through this embassy. Then they're going to be able to travel through Mexico. And somehow they're going to come into our country either legally or illegally. And that's the real sleeper cell story, bro. Not the bullshit drone coming from all the way to Iran and going to hit Cali on the West Coast. That's the real one. But all these people are being displaced, bro. You think they're going to settle? They're gonna come here, son. I mean, that's what people get. It's like we start these wars and we get involved in. It's like they're not gonna resettle in Israel. They're gonna come here. And the thing too, JR, is like the day I was in Mexico for the Mencho story. Like a sheriff hit me up, was like, "Yo, I just arrested a Pakistan in Starr County." So something's happening, bro. These Middle Eastern individuals are starting to trickle into the country or trying to cross in illegally. So we'll see if it's worth it, bro. We'll see if Trump, risking all this capital on this is going to pay off. And I think we don't know the answer until we find out if a Republican is president in 2028. Because that's how we will know how the American people feel. But, man, that gas, bro, it's looking ugly. And it's not that, too, bro. It impacts everything else, especially if you're a business owner. You're dealing with fertilizer. I mean, yeah, it's...
Everything's a little bit out of control right now.
Yeah. And I'm looking at my Twitter, bro, and it'll be like single moms now go to the grocery store. My grocery store bill is this, it's that, and I'm like, man, this feels like Biden a little bit, where like people were like complaining about the gas and saying like, oh, you can't get us out of Israel, you can't get us out of Ukraine. It's like, man, Trump, you're really handing the other side this populist message. And then on top of that, bro, the Epstein thing, the way they handled that was a disaster. Now people tie Trump into Epstein. I don't know, so.
I think that was handled completely like.
Fuck, dog. What a blunder after blunder. I don't know. If I'm an advisor to Trump, I'm like, I would be drinking every day on the job, because I'd be like, guys, we should be talking about the border. We close it in 30 days. And it was like, yeah, shut that drunk guy up. I'm like, all right. I feel like I would be that guy in the White House. Like, talk about the thing that we're winning at.
We're not going to prosecute anybody on the files?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
And then this hurts optics, bro. Then I'm glad that we're doing the podcast today. Melania yesterday does the whole press conference saying, I'm not tied with Epstein. So I'm like, okay, why would Melania say that now? This is a weird news statement, weird time to do the news conference. Then I find out through the Daily Mail that a reporter called Trump, did you know your wife was going to do this? Trump had no idea, bro, that Melania, his wife, who happens to be first lady, was going to do a press conference and talk about Epstein. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on at the White House, bro? You don't know that your wife was going to talk. It's one thing if you don't know, like a public official has a different message. You didn't know that your wife was going to talk about Epstein today? I don't know, bro. I don't know. There's cracks. And like a few days, like I mentioned before, bro, a few days ago, the New York Times reports that Vance was the only one in the Situation Room to say no to war. But this is what the American people don't know. Like, as a journalist, I know how to think like this. Why would the New York Times write that? That means J.D. Vance or his team went to the New York Times and then leaked them the story. So the New York Times like, hey, we have an exclusive. Vance is the only one. Like, why? Vance. Why does Vance want that story out? Because he wants to show the right or the American people, hey, man, I'm anti-war still, guys. Like, just know,
vote for me.
Vote for me in 2028. So he leaked that to the New York Times, bro. The people have to pay. Like, there's certain stories when they hit, you gotta be like, why? Because there's a leak, Like last year, bro, when the New York Times came out with the story, CIA flying drones over Mexico. CIA went to New York Times and said, leak this story, plant this story. We want Mexico to know. But we want Mexico to know through you guys, not Mexico to know through us. So yeah. I know, bro. Yeah. The good thing, bro, is I can break it down like journalistic. Like this is great that we could talk about this, but that's what I want to like. So if you're an audience member, just know like, New York Times says Vance is anti-war. That means his camp went to the New York Times and gave him that. You know.
This is.
Yeah. And right now, bro,
you're gonna fucking now my wheels are.
And right
turning.
now, bro, there's a bunch of stories. Like I telling our audience right now, Google Hegseth, and there's a bunch of stories of like rumblings in the White House wanting to remove Hegseth. So that's people in the White House, bro, leaking, saying Hegseth's on the hot seat. Hegseth's on the hot seat. You know, so it's just like
they leak shit purposely.
Purposely, yeah. Purposely, all the time, bro. And you it happens from different angles. Like. You know, you'll see stuff like that. So, you know, and it can be weird stories like Christy Noem's husband, bro. I mean, it can be some, which I tried to explain to my Salvadoran boomer mom. You can imagine how that convo went, bro. Trying to explain cross dressing in Spanish to a fucking Salvi mom. From San Salvador. Oh shit. Yo, JR, we're gonna have to run this one back, bro. You're gonna have to bring me back. Like, I might have to be rotating guests for you, bro, because I got stories for days. Yeah.
I told him that we're gonna have to do a part 2. It's just way too much. We've been on how long?
An hour.
Fuck. Oh, we hit that Joe Rogan stuff.
So,
and what's great though, bro, is I'm in Southern California, so you ain't gotta fly me in, put me up in the hotel. I could always pull up. And when I got some good stuff for you, bro, I'm always working on good heat, good exclusive like heat. We could preview it on the show, give a little exclusive to your audience. That'd be dope.
Our new location is just for that. So I want you, Anthony.
Yep.
I know you talked to Araceli.
Yeah.
Like, all you guys, like, hey, this is boom. Come on, bam.
Yeah.
I have everything set up. Let's talk about it, and we'll fucking get it edited and.
Yeah, we're gonna have bangers, bro.
Same day.
And like I said, once again, bro, to the audience, like everything I'm talking about, stuff that I report on, you'll see it. Like we got the powerful fucking video. We always shoot video of everything, bro. So everything that I'm talking about, we're always gonna have that, so you guys are gonna be able to see it raw. And what I'll do, JR, is I'll work on some exclusive stuff, some real stuff tied with organized crime, because I got some heat coming. And then we'll preview it with your audience, bro, and have the clips, and they'll be like, "What the fuck?" Like raw.
Let's do it.
That's how we shoot everything. But I think right now, bro, more than ever, wanted to say this real quick, like guys like you, me, Anthony Cabas, everyone, bro, like we all got to stay in the fight, bro. Here, you know, we got these Latino creators here in Southern California. We got something special. If everyone could keep working, bro, just keep hitting it every day. You know. Everything, bro. Just chopping wood, carrying the water every day, bro. We got something special, and we're getting the message out. And the good thing, bro, is our audiences, they're more hungry for this information more than ever, bro. And especially the Latino audience that just gets this like watered down Latinx fucking message share. Like we're done.
They don't trust the media.
Yeah, we're done with that. Yeah, so we're gonna run them all over.
Yeah.
This year and next, bro.
Well, I'm looking forward to part 2, man. This shit's
Let's go.
3 hours, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm ready to go for 3 more.
Dude, I know, bro.
It's crazy. But you know what I'm saying? All right, my brother. Thank you so much for stopping by, and y'all stay tuned for part 2. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Now make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss our weekly episodes. See you on the next one. Let's go.